Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Window Nation can help beat the heat in your home with a buy two, get two free offer on insulated, energy-efficient windows, plus 0 down and no interest or payments for 2 years. Schedule an in-home estimate now at 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week, Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Middle of the day, we've warmed up quickly on this Tuesday. Temperatures in the 80s right now as we head into the afternoon. Highs in the low 90s. Most of our scattered showers and thunderstorms arriving by the evening, with a few showers lingering into the overnight hours. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones currently up 51 points at 40,466.
It is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, and today we are live from ACC Football Kickoff in Charlotte. ACC Football Kickoff coverage on 99.9 The Fan is driven by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox here in Charlotte, along with me, Graham back at the studio, keeping us up and running. And, well, there's something you can learn from ACC Kickoff.
Oh, a few things.
First of all, we're going to be talking to players and coaches throughout the show, so you can learn a lot of insight from that. We've already spoken to the head coach of UVA, Tony Elliott. We've already spoken to Virginia Tech's Dorian Strong. So those conversations and more will be coming to you throughout the show. But also, you can sense first of all, a little bit of I don't know if it's excitement or anticipation. There's something here because Stanford and Cal are here. Today.
And SMU was here yesterday.
SMU's here yesterday, and it's just a little unknown.
Yeah, it's a little different.
We're going to be talking with Justin Wilcox, the head coach of Cal, and I'll give you a little insight into what my first question is going to be. Justin Wilcox is from like one of the first families of Oregon football.
Okay.
His dad played at Oregon as a Pro Football Hall of Famer. His brother played at Oregon. He played at Oregon. He's coached in the Pac-12. And I'm just going to be like, isn't this kind of weird that you're here? right? Isn't it just?
It's got to be.
It's got to be a little strange. And everyone, to their credit, everyone that we've spoken to, has downplayed it and just, I just want, just focus on football and just one game at a time, and we don't care where they come from. But there is something different about this year in the ACC, and you see it even by how the ACC is decorating.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Conference of Quarterbacks. It is very opportunistic what the ACC is branding themselves as. The Conference of Quarterbacks. They're also standing on their coaching success record, right? Because it's 2 of the 3 active head coaches to win a national championship coach in the ACC.
That's true.
You don't have to mention that Nick Saban retired this offseason.
Doesn't matter.
That makes it much easier for everybody, right? Or that, Mac Brown and Dabo, combined for one more than Kirby Smart. So it's I'm saying it's opportunistic. Mm-hmm. You look at the lay of the college football land, which is always shaking, and the ACC is trying to take advantage of it. The other thing we're seeing a lot of is that it's the Conference of Quarterbacks.
Oh, yes.
There's a big sign right over there that I can see that says Conference of Quarterbacks. All the little, information stands have stats about how they're the Conference of Quarterbacks.
And toughest non-conference schedule.
And tough.
Of any of the power conferences.
That one you can't fake. But the Conference of Quarterbacks, I think it's funny. I'm going to read you some of the stats. Top-ranked group of quarterback transfers in 2024 by CBS Sports.
All right.
I think that's a little ironic to brag that you didn't develop them. Next up, 13 quarterbacks entered 2024 with over 20 career touchdown passes and 3,500 career passing yards.
Okay.
Grayson McCall is on that list.
Sure.
Cam Ward is on that list. We're going to see Cam Ward walking around later today. It'll be the first time we see him as an ACC quarterback. Grayson McCall will be here on Thursday. It'll be his first time as an ACC quarterback. 8 quarterbacks are projected to start week 1 in the 2024 NFL season, 25% of NFL teams. I believe that is counting Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Who
legends now.
Who never played a down of ACC football.
ACC legends.
It's just
much like Larry Fitzgerald and Tony Dorsett and now Marshawn Lynch,
John Elway,
Andrew Luck.
They're all of them. They all are.
Christian McCaffrey.
There you go, Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
I look at what they're doing here, and you can sense there is a I don't know if it's a land grab or a war or a battle in the headlines going on in college sports right now. But so much of it is perception is reality.
Yep.
Right? If the powers that be, if the fans, if the media departments believe that the SEC is stronger than the Big Ten, it almost doesn't matter if the SEC is actually stronger than the Big Ten or not, because the media companies and their media deals are willing to pay more for the SEC because they believe it. So the ACC, what I believe they're doing, and here we talked about it yesterday with they need a ACC version of Paul Feinbaum, is they're starting to try to tell their own story. And it's almost like if the details don't add up perfectly, who cares, right? It's like, should we claim Aaron Rodgers as an ACC quarterback?
Yeah.
Probably not. Like if you add up all logic and you get some smart people in a room, that's Pac-12. No. That's Pac-10. But logic and reason has gone out of the realm of what you need to worry about here.
Context doesn't matter.
Instead, it's just about who can tell the story the best. And the story the ACC is trying to tell this weekend is we have the best quarterbacks, we have the best coaches, and we aren't afraid of anybody.
Yeah.
And it is literally giant, placards and banners and posters say in big letters, Conference of Quarterbacks. They hype up their coaching experience, and they say toughest non-conference schedule of any conference. And they're just going to smash us over the head with it. So we come on air and do exactly what we're doing right now and pass it along to all of our listeners. and we can look up and down Radio Row here and say, if you get all the people here to talk about it, that's good business for the ACC.
They spin zone it however you want to, all those kinds of things. Now, some of them, like you mentioned, with the schedule, that's just factual.
Can't fake that.
You can't fake
You
that.
actually have to go play those games.
Yeah, you do. And you can look at win percentages and all those things. That's how this works. So that is True. Now, how you want to claim with ACC quarterbacks and all that kind of stuff, like, are you considering Russell Wilson an ACC QB? Like
yes.
Reggie said, yes. Of course. I mean, from the ACC, yes, absolutely. He played majority of his career with NC State. So, again, you can spin zone this any way you want. And I think a lot of it is just the ACC trying to direct the narrative about what they are on the field, because the conversation about ACC is, quote unquote, like on the field, they're not that good. Like, when in reality, they actually are. Yep. And I think we all understand that. Like, if you just watch the games, you can say, yeah, ACC is actually good at football. It's not just a basketball league, but I think it's also, especially with everything going on with like Clemson, Florida State, all those kinds of things, like, hey, you know what? Let's talk about this other stuff. And one of the conversations going around that we've talked to a lot of people is just how Jim Phillips addressed Florida State and Clemson yesterday, like how he was very direct and stern. And a lot of people around here, like, about time Jim Phillips showed a little gumption when it came to that. Like, literally, like put it on the table.
And that was my first reaction. We talked about it yesterday. It was good for you, right?
Yeah.
It's that moment where the bullied finally stands up and is like, listen, man, you're not taking my lunch money today. Like, if I have to throw a punch, I'll throw the first one. I don't know if I'll win the fight, but like, I'm going to go down swinging. And there's something uplifting about your commissioner playing his role of the commissioner, because the hard part is, like, you know, we're going to talk to a whole bunch of ACC movers and shakers. We're going to talk to coaches. We're going to here at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte, we'll bump into people and ask questions. And, like, on the record, these other schools just can't say what I would want to say in their situation, right? Like, you can't say, like, gosh, Florida State is the worst, because you're a conference member, right? And, you know, it's not your place. But you do kind of want your commissioner to say, they're acting pretty terrible. Like, yeah. you want your commissioner to vocalize that, because he's the commissioner. It's his role to be that level-headed voice.
Now, there's certain things he can't say because, you know, legally he's, you know, can't discuss certain things. But for him to basically, for lack of a better term, told Florida State and Clemson, quit your whining, shut up. Like, you guys.
I wish he could say
this.
it that way.
He said it in a very.
In a commissioner way.
In a very commissioner way.
Translated its commissioner-ease.
Like, basically kind of do like the angry translator, like Key and Peele, basically like, y'all need to shut up, quit your whining. You guys signed this thing twice, which I think he very much mentioned multiple times yesterday. Hey, you signed the grant of rights twice.
You either believe in what you signed.
Yeah.
Or you got to be quiet. That's basically what we got after
look,
that.
You can keep whining, spend a bunch of money on legal fees, and you're still in the ACC, or you can just shut up, find different ways to make money yourselves, and still be in the ACC. Either way, you're still in the ACC. So if you're stuck here in the situation, either you make the best of it or keep whining and pouting.
Do you know who, and I actually thought about this because they're not at ACC Media Day. Do you know who isn't complaining about the ACC media rights, or the ACC won't let us leave, or we're not getting the money we want?
Everyone else?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah.
And by the way, I want Notre Dame in the ACC.
Oh, as do I.
But they were a group that was forward-thinking when they didn't just jump into a conference, because, like, if Florida State and Clemson maybe thought more like Notre Dame 50 years ago, and then 40 years ago, and then 30 years ago, and then right before they put pen to paper on the latest grant of rights, they would be a little bit more content. Instead, you're part of the ACC, the Conference of Quarterbacks.
the ACC that you helped form, basically. True. Like, what it is today, like, you guys helped create this.
And the ACC is counting all your quarterbacks in those stats, so appreciate it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Just because we're at ACC Kickoff here in Charlotte doesn't mean we're not going to get to our 99 questions about the college football season series. We ask our next question coming up.
Win Your Weight in Meat is back on 99.9 The Fan. Text PORK, P-O-R-K, to 919-860-5326 and enter for your chance to be one of our finalists. Through August 2nd, we'll pick 10 people to come on air during the Drive with me, Tim Donnelly, and share their weight. On August 5th, we will randomly select one lucky winner, and they will score their weight in meat. Served up by the North Carolina Pork Council and their dedicated team of farmers that put bacon and barbecue on your plate. Learn more at ncpork.org.
Hey, Katie. Hi. Let's embark on a performance calibration initiative synthesizing qualitative and quantitative metrics for this past fiscal year.
If Heineken Silver was corporate jargon, it would have all the info you need. None of the annoying gibberish.
What I was trying to say is, you crushed it last year, Katie. Lady, you are getting a big, fat bonus.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer. Only 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy your Heineken responsibly.
Is foot pain keeping you from living the life you love? Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store, and life is too short to be living with foot, knee, or back pain. When all four arches in your feet are supported, the results can be amazing. Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Febreze. Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week, Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Batter up. Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Duke University's Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, the film's original screenwriter Ron Shelton has adapted the story for the musical, so you can follow Crash Davis's Durham Bulls story and his romantic love triangle in a new genre. The perfect blend of comedy, drama, and steamy romance. Get your tickets for Bull Durham, a new musical, today. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. Get 3 rooms Zero Resified. That's carpets cleaned as they could possibly be, starting at just $109, and get a free hallway done on top of that. Just call now at ZeroResRaleigh.com or 919-995-0000. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. From live at the Hilton, right? We're at the Hilton in Charlotte for ACC football kickoff, where we're talking with coaches and players across the ACC today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So we expect to hear from just about every team in the ACC in some form or fashion over the next 3 days, which does set us up quite nicely for our next question in the 99 questions about the college football season series that we've been participating in going back all the way months now. There it is. Get some music going. Appreciate it, Graham. The question for today is simple, and it's a good time to have it because there's no ACC players currently within our earshot.
Not yet.
Who's the best player in the ACC? I thought we'd keep it simple, but not easy, right? It's a tough question to answer, but it is one that, like, even the most non-sports fan can understand. Who is the best player in the Atlantic Coast Conference? And I thought we'd start with a little bit of guys naming guys, just players who ran through your mind when you were thinking of this. I did entertain Patrick Payton, an edge rusher from Florida State.
Okay.
He is – I remember last year at ACC Kickoff, Jerod Verse was walking around, and it was like, oh, that's what a first-round edge rusher looks like.
Oh, yeah, he looked the part.
I think Patrick Payton's going to kind of play that same role for Florida State this year, where it's just, yep, okay, NFL's going to like that. But he was not my choice.
Okay.
Barrett Carter, linebacker, Clemson.
We'll talk to him on Thursday, by the way.
We are going to talk to him on Thursday, and if you're looking for best defensive player in the ACC, I think he would be on the short list. Not my choice. Feel free to jump in with
especially because there's so many guys that left. Like Verse is gone, Peyton Wilson's gone, Jeremiah Trotter's gone, Cedric Gray is gone. Like there's a lot of first-team All-ACC guys that are no longer playing in college. They're in the NFL in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, they're not in a cubicle anywhere. They're getting ready for training camp.
Yeah, like exactly. They're fitting their helmets right now.
I thought about and I know this is probably too early, but I think sometimes it's like a stock, right? It's better to be early than late. I thought about throwing Casey Concepcion, wide receiver, NC State, in there because of his versatility and because of what he was able to do last year. But not where I'm going with it.
Especially since Keon Coleman from Florida State in the NFL, I think Malik Washington, Virginia
in the NFL
as well.
Dolphins.
So there's a couple of wide receivers that were ahead of him in the all-conference also gone.
Also, NC State wasn't able to get him the statistics to go up against guys like Keon Coleman and Malik Washington. I'm not sure that was a quality of wide receiver discussion. Sure. NC State had some other challenges with their offense, the quarterback shuffle, the running game.
But he is one of the top wideouts, if not the top wideout, coming back.
Oh, absolutely.
In the ACC.
And I'm just saying, I think he might have been last year. It's just the situation kind of artificially held him back. I thought about throwing Cam Ward in there, quarterback from Miami.
Not to be confused with former Carolina Hurricane goalie Cam Ward.
Very true.
Both are Hurricanes.
Oh, even look at you. You had that prep, didn't you?
No, I didn't actually.
I like Cam Ward from what he's done elsewhere. One of those kind of college stat compilers where you look at some of his stats from early in his career and you're like, how in the heck do you even have enough time in a game to throw for that many completions and yards? I don't know if he'll quite go that bonkers at Miami, but he was a player worth mentioning. All I have left to mention is my pick. Do you have anyone else you want to throw into the names to mention kind of the guys, name, and dudes portion of this?
I was thinking actually defensively Kamon Rucker.
Very good one.
I mean, he easily could be the defensive player of the year in the conference.
And he's another one who
from UNC.
Like, a baseball player who's unreal, but he might not lead the league in RBIs, batting average, or home runs. So like I call it the back of your trading card statistics.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're the best at on-base percentage and you're like a phenomenal defender in the field.
Gets a lot of stolen bases.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, but we can't give you the individual award because you're not good at these random three statistics that are the ones we've cared about since 1847. Kamon Rucker as an edge rusher is great at pressures. Near the top of the league in like quarterback hurries but he doesn't quite get home enough for the sack.
Yeah.
And as a defensive player in the front seven, it's very difficult to be kind of seen as one of the tops in a conference unless you get that, you don't have to get 15, 17 sacks, but 10, like that double digit just kind of makes everybody. It's like getting 100 RBIs. It's like, okay, now you can be an MVP.
Yeah.
Even if you're on base, 600% of the time. Just give me give me that 100 RBIs just so I feel okay with it. You pressure the quarterback on 60% of your rushes. Give me 10 sacks just so then I can appease the peanut gallery. So that's where I look at Kamon Rucker. If he gets home more, if he gets the quarterback on the ground more, could easily be a defensive player of the year in the ACC. But I'm actually going with his teammate for best player in the ACC.
I know who you're going with this.
And we're going to talk to this guy later in the week as well.
Yeah.
Omarion Hampton.
That was my pick.
I've said this for the last couple of weeks. It is going to get boring how often he is the answer to a question. But I was saying that for when we ask questions about UNC. This one's for the ACC. I think it's a bit more exciting. There's one worry I have here, which would just be, and again, now I'll use, instead of a baseball award, I'll use a basketball award example. You can't really win the MVP if you're not like a top 4 seed in the basketball in NBA.
Generally.
He might be held back from individual awards if UNC can't win the overwhelming majority of their games. If they're
go like 8-4 in the regular season type deal,
could be held back from some awards. But individually, he is deserving, and I'm excited to see what he can do when the spotlight isn't as narrowly focused on Drake May. That is going to be a star-making turn for him. Even if he isn't a ton better than last year, his production isn't a ton more, it's going to seem like a lot more because we're not watching the highlights for what Drake May's doing. We're going to be watching the highlights for what Omarion Hampton's doing.
I think anytime that Mac Brown gets a tap on the shoulder from O'Brien Hampton, say, hey, coach, I need a breather. Be like, take 2, because that guy's going to get the rock 25 times a game this season in some way, shape, or form, whether it's 19 carries, 6 catches, or just straight 25 handoffs. The guy's going to touch the ball a ton because, like you said, there's so much uncertainty. We don't even know. Does UNC even know who their starting quarterback is going to be? We're not entirely sure what that situation is going to look like.
We'll talk to Mac Brown about it later.
We'll ask him on Thursday. We'll ask him on Thursday. But I think when you look at some of the other top running backs and playmakers in the ACC from last year are gone. Like Jawar Jordan from Louisville is in the NFL.
Speed.
Trey Benson from Florida State is in the NFL.
Speed.
There's what's his name? LaQuint Allen from Syracuse, who was second team All ACC. I believe, if I remember correctly, he's back this year. But look at all the other guys like Jordan Travis, no longer at Florida State. He's graduated. Drake May is gone. There's so much great talent that left the ACC this past year. And he was first team above with all these other guys himself as it was. So he's really one of the few first team guys that's actually back in the entire ACC. It would not shock me that next week when we have the ballots or the teams are announced for preseason all conference, that he isn't picked to be preseason ACC player of the year. It would not shock me one bit. And that's not just us talking. That's the entire media and people that making that selection.
By the way, LaQuint Allen, Syracuse, who you brought up as one of the playmakers returning, we're going to talk to him on Thursday.
Okay, see, look at that.
Another little tease.
Talking all the best backs.
My favorite way to explain Omarion Hampton's season last year is from the Georgia Tech game. Now, UNC lost, I think it was like 46-42.
It's where Georgia Tech made a comeback in the fourth quarter by running the football.
And it was that Haynes King kind of magic. And I just remember, like, the headlines were all like Haynes King, Drake May, like duel, King out duels Drake May, and it was all of this about the quarterbacks. And then you check the stats, and it's literally like 160 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, and 40 yards in the air from Omarion Hampton. And I just remember going, yeah, that's tough on Omarion Hampton, right? When you have 200 total yards and 2 touchdowns, and you're like not even in the headline, like you're not even the guy that was out dueled. It's a pretty brutal place to find, just because that's how much of a magnetic force Drake May was.
So in that game, Omarion Hampton had 29 rushes, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, along with 4 catches for 41 yards.
Yeah, so not quite 200. What is it, 194?
Yeah, so right there.
And I'm again, this is kind of off memory here, but I'm pretty sure Drake May and Haynes King combined for 7 touchdowns in that game. So that was the duel. That was the whoa. And it's like, you know what? Actually, I think Omarion Hampton was kind of the engine that kept UNC in that offense, scoring 40. So now I just want to kind of experience that where the spotlight is on him, and then he gets to be the best player. Not the spotlight is elsewhere, and he's the best player in the shadows. So Omarion Hampton's my choice for best player in the ACC. And
likewise,
I think it's pretty darn good. With that being said, we're going to talk to someone that's pretty darn good and pretty darn new to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Tristan Sinclair, 6th-year linebacker for Stanford, is going to tell us what it's like to make the trek, all that travel, right? The ACC expanding to the West Coast. It was such a problem. Well, he just made that trek. We're going to figure out if it was actually that bad. Stick around.
Feeling the heat this summer? Cool down with this hot offer from Family Fare. Right now, pick up 2 icy cold 28-ounce Gatorades and get 1 free. Whether you're battling the sun at the work site, working out, or working on your tan, stay fueled and hydrated with Gatorade from Family Fare. You'll find lots of flavors to choose from in summer's best deal. So stock up on your favorite Gatorades today and all summer long at Family Fare. Buy 2 Gatorades, get 1 free is only for a limited time. So rush to your nearest Family Fare now. Family Fare. First in thirst.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at renofy.com/notices. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
John, I'm putting my foot down. We can't put off renovating this house any longer. Our kitchen is so small. We need to finish the basement for the kids, and don't even get me started on the bathrooms.
Honey, renovating is so expensive. We can't do all those projects.
With Renofy, we can.
What's Renofy?
Renofy loans are a new type of home equity loan only for homeowners doing renovations. We can get up to $500,000 and keep our existing low mortgage rate locked in.
With Renofy, we can do everything on our renovation list and we don't have to refinance?
That's right. Renofy loans are the only home equity loan that use the after renovation value.
Just what we need. How do we get started with Renofy?
Just send them a text.
Text TRANSFORM to 323232 and see if you qualify for up to $500,000 to renovate your home with Renofy. Unlock the future value of your home right now to get the money you need without refinancing. Text the word TRANSFORM to 323232 to get started today. Text TRANSFORM to 323232.
NMLS number 1802847. Not all borrowers or properties qualify. Loan terms apply.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
The new Bluebell Cookies and Cream Cheesecake is cheesecake ice cream with chocolate cookie-crusted cheesecake pieces and chocolate cream-filled cookies. Again, cheesecake ice cream with chocolate cookie-crusted cheesecake pieces and chocolate cream-filled cookies. Buy two.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Walmart Supercenters and Walmart Neighborhood Markets.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. You know I love sports, and love is such a strong word, but I love them so much. I never want sports to stop. But as we know, the playoffs of the NBA and the NHL are just faded memories. So we have fewer games, and the sports just aren't sportsing like we want them to. But FanDuel lets us keep the sports going whenever we want. All you got to do, open up the app and dream up bets anytime you're in the mood. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long. Get on over to FanDuel.com/Paul, P-A-U-L, and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are live at ACC Kickoff. ACC football kickoff coverage on 99.9 The Fan is driven by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Sanford. We are actually waiting. I never thought I'd say this. We are here at ACC Kickoff waiting to be joined by a linebacker from Stanford, Tristan Sinclair. We're going to have to dive into all the stereotypes, right? Is this guy like making apps in his spare time?
Right.
Should we get in on the ground floor, the next Google?
Maybe we should. Maybe ask him like, all right, so what startup you gonna have here soon? Like, can we invest?
I've looked up his LinkedIn. The guy's got software engineer all over the place. So we're gonna have to figure it out. There's really only one way to do it. We welcome Stanford in by confirming or disproving some stereotypes.
It makes it all more real. Because we're like Stanford, Cal, and SMU are coming to the ACC now. Like, oh yeah, they're here. Yeah. Like I see them. They're right there. I walked by Stanford's coach, the head coach earlier today, and I was just like, oh my god,
Troy Taylor.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's the Stanford Cardinal logo with the tree and everything on his pullover. I'm like,
they should have brought. They should have brought the tree with the bug eyes.
Yes.
They should have brought the mascot.
They should have.
That's funny.
With the Pop-Tart.
And just everybody, just to keep you updated on, because once we get started here with interviews, it's going to be going pretty fast. Following Tristan Sinclair, we're going to air a conversation with Tony Elliott, the head coach of UVA. They actually, a little bit of a surprise here. In a year where teams from our area, UNC, Duke, have not been afraid to bring two quarterbacks, UVA, with a quarterback competition going on, only brought one, maybe tipping their hand. But we talked to Tony Elliott about it. They brought Tony Muskett and not Anthony Calandria. State fans and Duke fans will remember Calandria from last year.
Oh, yeah.
Played very well, barring a few boneheaded decisions late in the NC State game. Played very, very well against both triangle teams. So he is not the quarterback Virginia has chosen to bring with them to Media Day. So we'll dive into why and how and where Tony Elliott came up with that decision.
You think it's a possibility that with Calandria, he played 6 games, you have a now graduate level quarterback, maybe you just redshirt Calandria, so you have 3 more years of eligibility? I don't know, to be determined.
There's always that possibility, and he is somebody who was a bit undersized. Tristan Sinclair is joining us, just stopped by, but Calandria being a little undersized might want to develop that body a little bit. For the first time, despite the fact that 99.9 The Fan has been covering the ACC for years and years and years and years, for the first time we welcome a Stanford ACC football player, Tristan Sinclair, grad student linebacker, to the show. Thanks for joining us, first of all.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Doing well. First question, when Stanford, when the debate was going on and the votes were going on, is the ACC going to admit Stanford? Is the ACC going to admit Cal? Everyone was really complaining about the travel, right? You can't do it. You can't make this is you just did the travel that you could do for one of your away games. Was it that bad? No?
It was an easy flight over here. Yeah.
It was
no problems. And it'll be even easier with your own plane and stuff, chartered and everything. So
Stanford sent you commercial out here?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. We got to talk to those boosters. We got to get the NIL collectives on here. But how does the East Coast feel? How does this feel for your first ACC event?
It's cool being here. It's definitely cool. It's definitely different, seeing all the logos and looking around and seeing ACC everywhere. It's definitely different, but it's exciting. Yeah.
Are you frozen out? Like, are the other guys interacting with you at all, or do you feel like you're the new kid in school and no one wants to sit with you at lunch?
Honestly, I haven't seen them. Everyone's kind of running around, so I haven't talked to any of the other guys really. I saw the Cal guys up there a little bit, so I said hi to them.
You know them.
Yeah, I know them. We're familiar with them.
Tristan Sinclair, grad student linebacker. Let's do that, right? Because we're trying to get to know the newbies, right? As somebody that's faced off against Cal, and that game is obviously important. What is the ACC getting in Cal? Make you describe your rival as a program coming in.
Sure. I mean, Cal is like a legendary program to me. I guess growing in the Bay Area, I used to go to Cal games. My grandparents had season tickets, so I'd go to Cal games, Stanford games all the time. And, they got tradition there. They got lots of tradition. They got lots of, historic players, Aaron Rodgers and
ACC legend Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
We're claiming all of them, by the way.
Claiming all of them? Sure, yeah.
Andrew Luck, Christian McCaffrey, they're ACC legends now.
Might as well. But, they're a great program. It's been fun getting to play them every year. Obviously, we don't like those guys, but it's fun competing against them. It's the rivalry at the end of the day.
Tristan Sinclair, grad student linebacker for Stanford, joining us here on The Drive. I looked up the schedules. First of all, you've been in college a nice chunk of time here. This is year 6.
Yeah, year 6.
In your 5 years, other than Notre Dame, who it's like 50%. We don't really count him. You've never played an ACC team? I believe that's correct. So
I think so.
What is the reputation, right? Because, you think of Big Ten basketball. They're like, hey, they got 7-footers. You think of SEC basketball, they're up and down the court. What is your kind of preconceived stereotype of what ACC football is before you get into the meat of your schedule?
Yeah, I think that that's a great question. I think that I've always thought of ACC as speed, but also physical up front, especially watching the D linemen. They always have big freaky D linemen. I think at Clemson, those guys are always huge. And those are some of the few things that I think about. But obviously, you get the Florida guys, you get the speed. That's what everyone's talking about. But it'll be fun. It'll be different.
Now, I brought up 6th year of college football. In the era of the portal, was there ever a temptation to say all right, let me go try it? Did your eyes ever wander to other parts of the country or maybe even the ACC?
Yeah, so I graduated right after my senior season. So I was done that fall, and I was trying to figure out. I was in a master's program at Stanford, and I was kind of just waiting until they hired a coach, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, if I wanted to stay or leave or whatever. And you know, I talked to my family about it, and I talked to people in the program, and they said, hey, look, just wait. Like, you know, give Bernard Muir time to hire a coach, and for that coach to bring in a staff.
He was my athletic director at Delaware too.
Oh, no way.
Bernard's
That's
a great
incredible.
guy.
Small world. Yeah. So, you know, that was kind of the advice I got from family and friends, and that's what I did. I decided to wait. You know, they hired Coach Taylor, decided to wait, talk to him, and kind of waited, you know, as they were trying to figure out like a defensive staff, so I could talk to them as well. And then eventually, like, waiting, and I was like, you know what? I'm not leaving. Like, this is my home. This is where I want to be. You know, I love Stanford. It's been my dream all along to be here. So why would I leave? And I decided to come back.
So you bring up that you were in the master's program,
Mhm.
and in prepping for this interview, I stumbled upon your LinkedIn.
Mm.
You got the intern at Reseed Partners. You got software engineer intern, data science intern. How real is the, like, kind of, speaking of stereotypes, the stereotypes of Stanford? Like, are you guys like creating apps and new businesses? Like, is the next Google going to be developed by like the defensive linemen in the locker room? Like, is this that real?
I think there's definitely some truth to that. I
Yeah?
think that people get – I think the thing that people get messed up, though, is that they look at us and say that, like, you know, oh, like football is like a second option, or football is this or that to them. And, like, that is the thing that people get
Well,
wrong.
we got like a $1 billion valuation on my side hustle. Maybe football does take a little bit of a backseat, no?
Yeah, sure. But I think that, you know, like, Stanford guys love football. Like, we're here to play football, you know, and that's like what people get mixed up. And yeah, guys leave and are extremely successful. Like, our alumni base is insane. Like, there's, you know, millionaires, billionaires, whatever, that we go work for during the summer. That's like our internship programs. But I mean, honestly, you talk to those guys too. It's like we're all about football first, and then that's a great thing is that we have that waiting for us. You know, once the day's done, when you can't play anymore.
Speaking of kind of moving on, we can talk honestly about some of your old Pac-12 rivals now, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Colorado, Deion Sanders. You guys got the best of them with the crazy comeback. They aren't all
Crazy
that
game.
scary, are they? Like all that hype and everything that took over the world. That wasn't that much, was it?
You know, that's how it is. Like, you know, that's Deion Sanders. Like, he's the man, and he deserves that hype. Like, he's, you know, the GOAT corner. And obviously he's been running that program and took over and brought in all those guys and stuff. And I guess like you know, they had a reason to have the hype. Like, you know, Travis Hunter, like, great player, and a bunch of great players. So I think that they deserve some hype, and it's honestly, it's good for the game. It's fun to have, like, go in and have that, like, oh, you know, us versus them. And I think it's really exciting, and I think that's what college football is all about, like the hype and the stories and the craziness. So it's fun being a part of it all.
Tristan, welcome to the ACC.
Thank you so much.
If you love football as much as you thought, or as much as you told us, then you'll fit right in.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you for taking the time, and good luck this season.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Once again, that is Tristan Sinclair, grad student linebacker for Stanford, with the insight into Stanford as a new ACC team. And how about that? Flew commercial, travel wasn't that bad. So all that worrying, right? A little tongue in cheek here. All that worrying about bringing in the schools from over there in California to the ACC, all for nothing, right? It's going to be fine. The travel is going to be fine, especially, you know, at least for football. You only got to do it once a week. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As we promised, following the Tristan Sinclair interview, we have Tony Elliott, UVA head football coach from earlier today. Enjoy this conversation between me and Coach Elliott right now. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are now joined at ACC Kickoff by Tony Elliott, the head coach of Virginia. Coach, we're going to start with the important stuff. Have you hit up Trevor Lawrence yet for a little bit of a cash thank you? I mean, you schemed him open a lot, and $275 million is a lot of dollars that he just signed for.
Man, how about that? Just super, super excited for him, and I'm not going to try and take any of the credit for that. That's all. And if you know Trevor, man, he's been working since he was a youngster, and the way that he's conducted himself and handles his business, it's a true reward and blessing that he's earned. So I'm happy for him and his family.
Does it give you a little bit more credibility in the locker room? My college coach coached Flacco, and when he signed his $100 million deal, I think Coach reminded us that, like, listen to what I say, and there might be $100 million, you know, out there down the way for you.
Yeah,
didn't end up happening, but
to be honest with you, man, each player each year is different, and I think you can look at your past to draw, some strength and encouragement. But man, I don't like to compare, guys to guys. Now, if they ask me questions about him, then obviously I'll share my experiences, but I don't walk around saying, hey, because Trevor was Trevor and Deshaun was Deshaun, and those guys were who they are. And I can tell you what I perceived as what it took, what made them special. But each person has to make that decision, and that's what I tell the young people.
And that's why you are you, because that leads us right to our next conversation. We're talking with Tony Elliott, UVA head football coach. How much thought goes into who you bring to something like this, ACC Kickoff? Because we see Tony Muskett here, not Calandria, who, us here in the Triangle in North Carolina, we remember that Duke game. We remember the NC State game. He made some highlights, and yet Muskett is the one here with you.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people outside of our circle are going to make a huge to deal about it. Like, okay, like what signal are you sending? But, based off of where we were, how we finished, right? That's just where we are today. And they'll continue to compete. And, man, really, really proud of AC and the progress that he's made this offseason. Man, really seeing his body has changed. His focus and attention to detail, all areas that we challenged him to grow over the summer. He's really, really embraced that. Both of them have embraced the competition. And what I like about them is to me, I feel like they've embraced it the right way because they found value in each other. Right. They have a really good relationship and they understand that they need each other. So, because both of them wants to be the guy, right?
Of course.
But in order to be the guy, you need others around you to push you to be the best version of you so you can put in the work necessary to be the guy. And that's what I appreciate about where both of those guys are.
When it comes to that work with AC, Anthony Calandria, we saw it in that NC State game where he sparks the comeback and he's dynamic and he's making plays that, I didn't see coming. But then the penalty leads to kind of the result you're not looking for. How do you keep that spark as you continue to work with him without, keeping the spark without the bad parts of the spark? I don't know how to put it.
So that's a great question because it's what makes him special is that spark, right? And I definitely don't want to be the one to put the spark out, right? But just taking advantage of opportunities to teach and to grow, and obviously we've had some of those, and what I've seen is, man, he's embraced, right, those opportunities to grow. And I think, as he continues to have more opportunities, then he's going to be able to draw off of, okay, in the past, I might have done this, but I know, like, okay, this is really what's necessary. And I think some of it is just learning how to manage the game, right? I think as a quarterback, you got to have confidence that you can make every single play. But that doesn't mean that you make every single play. You can differentiate between the play that I need to make and what is the right play to make in this situation. And that's where, just experience and time and opportunities to grow is really what we need for AC.
And then the other side of it with Tony Muskett, who's here with you today. Last year, obviously a jump up in competition for him from Monmouth to the ACC. How has he developed now with a year, at the power conference?
That's right. I think the talent was always there, right? That's why we went and recruited Tony to come to UVA. I think just getting used to the environment, like him coming to this last year was something that he had never been a part of, right? So there were a lot of things external to the game that he was now being introduced to, and then he's got to figure it out, and then he's battling injury, and then he's got a young talented freshman, and right, so there's so many things that came at him at once. And what I've seen for him is just he seems like he simplified his life, right? He's really kind of got his house in order, so to speak. Not saying that it was out of order, but just all the things that were thrown on his plate, he's kind of now got it figured out, right? And that's allowing him, right, to walk in the strengths that he has and really, really kind of be in command and control of what we're trying to do, as opposed to, last year where he just had so much dumped on his plate. He's just trying to figure it out.
We're talking with UVA head football coach Tony Elliott here at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte. I could nerd out, and especially with you, I could nerd out on quarterbacks all day. But looking at who they're going to throw it to, Malik Washington's on to the NFL. That's a lot of production. I'm going to take Malachi Fields out because he almost had 1,000 yards last year. who else should we be looking for? What other name is going to be on the receiving end of some of these big plays?
Yeah, so obviously a lot of attention has been brought to the transfer guys that have come in. So Chris Tyree and Andre Green and Trell Harris are guys that came in this spring to try and help with that production. But then also guys in-house, J.R. Wilson, Shadarian Harrison, Jaden Gibson, Titus Ivey, Tyler Coleman are all guys that have kind of been waiting in the wings for an opportunity. And with fall camp and then also spring, I think that you're going to see some guys in particular. I think J.R. Wilson is a one to because he's going to be running over there with Malachi, and I think that's going to push Malachi and help Malachi continue to improve. And so those are the guys that I think are the names you need to be listening and looking for.
Was that the plan to embrace the portal this offseason? Obviously your previous employer is notoriously against it.
Yeah,
you guys took some.
I mean, when I took over, I had 54 on scholarship, so I had to figure it out, and it was in between the high school signing windows, right? So it's hard for you to so obviously out of necessity, but then philosophically I want to be more of a developmental program, but also too after year 2, more of the young men in the program that had been there graduated, right? And I also am a believer in education. So I wanted to get several of these guys to graduation from the University of Virginia and then have hard conversations. And it just afforded us an opportunity to be able to go in the portal because we had, several young men that are graduates and decided that they needed to go to a different space to have more opportunity to play.
Coach, we appreciate you for stopping by and good luck this season.
No problem. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Once again, that was Tony Elliott, UVA head football coach, connecting with us here on the drive at ACC Football Kickoff in Charlotte earlier today. And you know what? That obviously, as I mentioned, that conversation was recorded earlier. So as I was sitting here listening, I think I know what one of the – and it's ironic based on what we were talking about earlier and what the ACC is trying to convey. Okay. I think what one of the themes of this year's ACC football season, and – it could be a little cheesy, could be a little wishy-washy.
That's fine.
I think it's going to be finding out which of these quarterbacks has the it thing, right? The thing that you can't explain, because right they're promoting it. The ACC is as the conference of quarterbacks, and they have 13 quarterbacks. This is the stat they're pumping at us, and I said it earlier. 13 quarterbacks with 20+ career passing touchdowns and 3,500+ career passing yards, but just that little conversation we had with Tony Elliott where he's talking about his 2 quarterbacks and, the strides they still need to make. And I'm looking at all of the quarterbacks in attendance here. I have the Facebook, right, the picture index of everyone coming. And, I go back to last year, Drake May, Riley Leonard.
Yep.
They walk in and their presence had already been there for, 5 minutes, right? Like their aura extended beyond. And again, it's cheesy. It's a little wishy-washy, but that is part of that position. And, even somebody like Cade Klubnik had a little bit more of that, potential through the roof. Now, after a season where Clemson didn't really live up to their expectations, he's more of like can he get back to everything he was promised or his talent promised us as a recruit.
And the guy that he replaced, DJ Uiagalelei, transferring from Oregon State back into the ACC, now is at Florida State, taking over for Jordan Travis.
And Jordan Travis was another one.
Yeah.
He had that kind of swagger to him. DJ Uiagalelei, by the way, turned down the opportunity to be here for ACC Kickoff.
Yeah.
Because he felt it should go to somebody that participated in their undefeated season last year.
I respect that.
Which again, is a respect thing. But I'm looking at this and I'm going like, a lot of transfers.
Don't forget Kyle McCord, Ohio State transfer now at Syracuse.
Don't forget Grayson McCall at NC State. Yep. Don't forget Cam Ward, not that Cam Ward, the other Cam Ward, meaning not the Carolina Hurricanes Cam Ward, the Miami Hurricanes Cam Ward. Like they have talent, but there's a difference between accumulating a bunch of stats and having that weird it thing that quarterbacks need, right? There's a difference between running a 4.5 or whatever Riley Leonard's going to run and running a 40-yard touchdown against Clemson to seal it on a night game at home, right? Kyle McCord, you bring it up. I'm very talented quarterback, right? Ohio State had a lot of success, completely understood the assignment of feed the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. But at the same time, Ohio State didn't achieve the goals that Ohio State sets out for every year last year.
Sure.
They didn't beat Michigan. There was those moments where you needed that weird it thing where the guys come through, and he's still working on developing that. Not saying he can't. I'm just saying we haven't seen it. And there were, you know, you go back the year before, Sam Hartman, Drake May, right? You go back, the ACC seems to always have 2 or 3 of those guys who it's like, not only are they the quarterback, but they're also like cast in a Disney movie as the quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure we have that this year yet, right? You can obviously play your way into that, but I think that's going to be one of the storylines of the year is which of these quarterbacks. I mean, a bunch of 4 of these schools are bringing 2 to ACC Media Day. That's an unusual move, and if you had like that guy, you probably wouldn't bring 2. So this year, I think it's going to be a lot of, for the conference of quarterbacks, as the ACC is telling us that they are, it's going to be which ones take that extra step when you're down 6 and you have the ball on your own 18-yard line and there's a minute 12 on the clock and your season's in the balance, right? Your hopes at the college football playoff are in the balance, and you got to find a way to get across the end line.
I'm curious with some of these guys that are transfers, like a Grayson McCall, Malik Murphy, how fast they pick up on their offensive system, because these guys don't get a preseason game or 2 to get live reps against someone else. You don't have that. It's literally you practice against yourselves, and then it's week 1. If you're thrown into it, you have to figure it out fast.
If I'm not mistaken, Cam Ward, Miami Hurricanes quarterback, his first game will be Florida.
Have fun.
Florida at Florida. That's off the top. But
have fun.
That's not exactly, you know, a directional Michigan school to get tuned up at the beginning of the
it's not
Western Michigan to get your feet wet.
It's not like NC State has Western Carolina on a Thursday night to open their season. It's like, okay, like there's your chance to tune things up before you got to come down to where we are in Charlotte to play Tennessee.
Exactly. It would be as if they started with Tennessee instead.
Basically.
So anyway, just getting back to kind of wrap it up. I know somewhere, because they're all a bunch of talented guys, there are 2 or 3 quarterbacks that are going to level up this year. I think it's going to be really fun, and everyone here at ACC Kickoff that covers their individual teams is going to have a really fun time trying to figure out, like, is it the quarterbacks we cover or is it someone else's?
I think it's going to be a fun year in the ACC. I really do.
I completely agree. By the way, I need to make sure everybody knows how to win their weight in meat.
Let's go.
Through next Friday, August 2nd. Text PORK, P-O-R-K, to 919-860-5326 to enter for your chance to win your weight in meat. We will qualify one person each weekday around 4 p.m., which is coming up in a couple minutes here, to come on air with us and reveal their weight. Once you do that, you'll be one of the 10 finalists. We will announce the winner out of those 10 finalists Monday, August 5th. In addition, the North Carolina Pork Council will match the prize amount to donate to a local food bank. So not only do you get to win your weight in meat, you get to help a local food bank. Presented by the North Carolina Pork Council and the dedicated team of farmers that put bacon and barbecue on your plate. Learn more at ncpork.org. If you have texted in pork, or you will right now, pork, P-O-R-K, to 919-860-5326, keep your phones on. Keep them on loud or vibrate and in your hand. Make sure you don't miss a call, because we're going to qualify one of the finalists in the next few minutes here. Graham's going to give you a call, and if you don't pick up, he's going to leave a voicemail saying you have 5 minutes to call us back. So keep your phone on loud. Text PORK to 919-860-5326, and stick around. We'll be back after this.
If you love baseball as much as we do,
play ball!
Then you'll want to tune into 99.9 The Fan on Sunday nights this summer.
This one way back to left. Forget about it. It's gone.
Atlanta to Philly, St. Louis to L.A. Major League Baseball's best matchups will come to life.
Ground ball diving stop at third by Turner from his knees. He throws on to first and gets him.
Sunday Night Baseball on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Baker Roofing and by Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle accident lawyers.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup. You can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money, your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Middle of the day on this Tuesday, it's a warm one. Temperatures in the 80s out there, with highs making it into the lower 90s. Most scattered showers and thunderstorms arriving by the evening, with a few of those showers lingering into the overnight. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 60 points at 40,354. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, as we call our potential finalist for our Win Your Weight in Meat competition. I will let everybody else know how you can continue to enter.
Yeah.
Now through Friday, August 2nd, text PORK. So do it right now.
Do it now.
Definitely before tomorrow. Text PORK to give yourself the most chances to be a finalist. PORK to 919-860-5326 to enter for your chance to win your weight in meat. We will qualify one person each weekday, including today, which we're in the process of doing right now, to come on air and reveal their weight. And then we'll announce the winner out of the 10 finalists on Monday, August 5th. It'll be a random selection. In addition, the North Carolina Pork Council will match the prize amount to donate to a local food bank. All of this presented by the North Carolina Pork Council and the dedicated team of farmers that put bacon and barbecue on your plate. Learn more at ncpork.org.
So we qualified Melody from Fuquay yesterday.
Yes. And you know, we should start mixing in a barbecue question for these West Coast teams that we're meeting here on the ACC kickoff.
We need to.
Just make sure since they're here that they experience it correctly.
And I believe we have another qualifier.
We do. Brett in Raleigh is on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Brett, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right. The only thing you have to do is reveal your weight, and you are officially one of our 10 finalists.
All right, 130.
130.
I like it. Let's go.
There you go.
It's a lot of bacon.
It is.
It's a lot of bacon.
It could feed quite a bit. And also, if you end up being the winner, it'll be 130. Also, to the North Carolina Pork Council will also give that same amount to donate to a local food bank. So, Brett, as we will kind of mix in here, give us kind of some of the way you like your meat to be prepared. Are we grilling? Are we barbecuing? What style? Let us know your favorites.
Yeah, I'm a Texas barbecue, Memphis barbecue style. So little brisket, smoked brisket, that kind of thing.
Now, do you dabble in that hobby? Are you one of the guys that like you 24 hours you got to keep going out and checking the smoker?
I wish I was, but I have some buddies who are, and I get to benefit from it. So
that's even better, right? You don't want to be the guy with the boat. You want to be the guy who has friends that have the boat. You get to enjoy it, and you don't got to do any of the upkeep. Brett, we appreciate you for qualifying. Stay on the line. Graham might have some stuff to get, like information needs to get from you, but you are officially a finalist.
All right, thanks.
Cool. We'll do that again tomorrow. Even though we're out here at ACC Football Kickoff, we will continue to qualify our finalists for our Win Your Weight in Meat.
And still go ahead and text now, even if Graham didn't call you just now, because that keeps you qualified.
Yep. Text PORK.
Yep.
PORK to 919-860-5326.
Yeah, you don't have to text it every day.
But if you want to,
if you want to, go for it.
You feel like you
keep hammering. That's
hanging
fine.
out with some friends. We'll be your friends. It's also time for Football at 4. Which you can participate in every single day as well. Every day at 4 o'clock. Set your watch by it. Starting with, by the way, yesterday was actually the official kickoff to the ACC kickoff. That's when Jim Phillips, the commissioner of the ACC, spoke, as well as a few of the teams had their media availabilities. Florida State, Georgia Tech, and SMU. So I thought we would revisit a few of the points made by some coaches yesterday, starting with SMU coach Rhett Lashley. SMU is coming into not just the ACC, but the power conference level. Full head of steam, like a lot of hype, a lot of confidence.
There's a lot of buzz.
Yeah, there's
a lot of buzz about SMU.
There is a lot of buzz. Rhett Lashley explained why he thinks they're going to compete in the ACC here.
We do feel like we earned our way to this opportunity, but at the same time, and we understand it's a different opportunity. We're moving up in weight class, like to play 10 straight power games. We haven't done that in almost 30 years at our program. And so that there's going to be some changes there. Like I said earlier, I feel very confident we have a team that's going to compete. What does that look like? I don't know. We're excited to get out and see where we stand and how we measure up. And nothing better than our first 2 games, the 2 teams that played for the championship last year, right, in Florida State and Louisville. But I do think there's also a level to, understanding what got us here and understanding our identity, and you're always evolving. But we have a veteran team coming back. We have a lot of guys who are on the team that know what it takes to win a championship and to win a lot of close games and to win at the level we were last year. And I think that'll serve us really well in this transition.
There are some people whose football opinions I trust that tell me SMU's transition is not going to be as tough as I think it will be.
Yeah.
And I just have a hard time believing you can make that jump without some growing pains. But again, like I said, some people who like when I argue with them, like I'm believing their arguments as much as my own, have said SMU is kind of legit.
And Vegas believes it too. I think they have the 5th best odds of winning the entire ACC.
Yep.
Like they must see something too, because Vegas generally isn't that wrong.
And Vegas, I mean, you don't play with your money.
Yeah.
But I do think the ACC, you heard Coach Lashley say it there. Florida State right out the gate. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that is here you go. Welcome to the conference. You think you're hot stuff. Let's test that out. And they were, by the way, they were same day yesterday during ACC kickoff, eyeing each other up in the hallways. It is a really, really fun situation to watch them. And by the way, if I'm proven wrong and they don't have growing pains and they do compete for the ACC championship right out the gate,
good on them.
I'll come back and say it. But I have too much respect for the power conference level to think that transition won't be a little rocky. Speaking of Florida State lost a lot of talent off their undefeated team last year.
A ton.
Quarterback, Jordan Travis. Stud wide receiver, Keon Coleman, darn near a first-round pick. Trey Benson, one of the first running backs off the board. Jared Verse and Fesky, the two defensive linemen, are playing together with the Rams, first and second-round pick of the Rams.
Right.
The same teammates that they were in college. There's a lot to replace. I'm not going to list everybody that they lost, but Mike Norvell, their coach, spoke to the media yesterday and talked about building a talented team again.
It's still about putting together the most talented team, and building that team is something that I thought was really an X factor for us. There a year ago, and really these last few seasons, when you see guys with all different journeys and experiences come together, and just how much they care about each other, the willingness to invest and challenge and encourage each other throughout the circumstances that are going to show up, and I think this team is really. Embrace that, and from when we started back in January with the winter workouts to all the steps leading up until reporting here tomorrow. I mean, this team has invested a great deal of time outside of the facility, and I think that we have a group of like-minded individuals that they love to work, they're willing to embrace challenge, and it's that cohesiveness that has me excited about what this team's potential can be.
Building a team that's talented.
Huh.
Sometimes I think they oversimplify it a little bit. Yeah, it's only that easy. Just go find another Keon Coleman. Go find another Jordan Travis. Go find another Trey Benson. These guys are just growing on trees.
But you're Florida State. You should be able to go to that tree, take it. Look, a 4-star.
At least speed in that part of the country.
Yeah, okay. There's a 4-star, 5-star. Let's pick up this 3-star.
We were talking with Tristan Sinclair of Stanford earlier today, and I said, kind of what's the reputation of the ACC coming from somebody that's played their entire career on the West Coast and has never played against an ACC team? And one of the things he mentioned was, everybody talks about Florida speed.
Yeah.
It's just so the reputation of Florida recruiting has reached California. It's Mike Norvell. That team will be talented. It does come down to more than just that, though, and that's going to be the question for this year. That's what they did really, really well last year. Was that they had the pieces come together in the right way, not just, hey, these bunch of NFL guys and they're on the same team. It was, hey, these are a bunch of really good college players that'll go on to be NFL players, and that's how you end up undefeated in the ACC with an ACC championship and snubbed from this college football playoff.
But a program of Florida State's reputation is supposed to be able to do that. Like, turn them out. Like, that's your reputation, right? That's who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be up there with, Clemson and all that. That's your reputation. Okay, you had a bunch of guys go to the NFL. You're supposed to have that next group of guys ready to go. You call yourself one of the best. If you are who you say you are, then be it.
If you are what you say you are, you reload. You don't rebuild.
Exactly.
SMU is going to be waiting for you game one. I guess I got to root SMU in that game.
Maybe. Well, here's the thing.
I'm an ACC loyalist, which makes me want to go Florida State, but Florida State isn't an ACC loyalist. I think
we can't.
I think I gotta. It's a lesser of two evils.
I think we got to go Georgia Tech week 1 in Dublin, don't we? Or week 0?
I think we got to go Georgia. I like Haynes King. He's got a little. He might be one of those quarterbacks with a little it factor.
By the way, that game, Georgia Tech, Florida State in Dublin, 1 month from tomorrow, August 24th.
1 month from tomorrow.
That's how fast it is, folks.
Looking forward to it. That month is going to be simultaneously like 6 months long and 20 minutes long.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna take like forever. And then we're gonna get there. I'm gonna go. Off season went by so quick. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We're gonna take a break, but when we come back, Pete Thamel of ESPN did some reporting on Clemson and FSU. We were just talking about it. We'll also hear from our first Cal ACC player. Craig Woodson, redshirt senior safety, will talk to us about that transition coming up after this.
The college football season is here, and 99.9 The Fan will be live from Charlotte for ACC football kickoff. Touchdown, Carolina! Adam, Tim, and the crew will huddle up with your favorite players and coaches from Carolina, Duke, and State.
Concepcion's got it. Touchdown, Wolfpack.
Join us for ACC Football Kickoff live from Charlotte on 99.9 The Fan.
Duke thumps the Tigers.
Driven by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Sanford. Visit wilkinsoncars.com.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. Get 3 rooms Zero Resified. That's carpets clean as they could possibly be. Starting at just $109 and get a free hallway done on top of that. Just call now at ZeroResRaleigh.com or 919-995-0000.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Feeling the heat this summer? Cool down with this hot offer from Family Fare. Right now, pick up 2 icy cold 28-ounce Gatorades and get 1 free. Whether you're battling the sun at the work site, working out, or working on your tan, stay fueled and hydrated with Gatorade from Family Fare. You'll find lots of flavors to choose from. Summer's best deal. So stock up on your favorite Gatorades today and all summer long at Family Fare. Buy 2 Gatorades, get 1 free is only for a limited time. So rush to your nearest Family Fare now. Family Fare, first in thirst.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff. Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next? Ballroom dancing. I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s. A shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to Staples, young man. I'm starting first grade. Aw. Well, Staples has crayons, markers, glue. I need a laptop. Oh, sure. With Staples Hot Deals, you can save up to $500 on select PCs.
The finances are Mom's department.
Right.
I'm looking for performance, like a Core i7 processor.
Boy, first grade has really changed.
Totally.
Save big on tech for school with Staples Hot Deals, with up to $500 off select PCs. Ends 9/14 in-store only for participating stores. Visit staples.com/stores/school deals.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are live from ACC Football Kickoff. ACC Football Kickoff coverage on 99.9 The Fan is driven by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Sanford. We'll be here. The Drive will be here in Charlotte today for the entirety of the show, tomorrow for the entirety of the show, and Thursday for the entirety of the show, talking to ACC coaches, players, everybody else. So stay tuned right here. One thing that is it's hopefully it's not much of the conversation with the players and coaches, because players and coaches have, especially the players, have worked so long to have the opportunity to play a college football season, that I hope it's not too much talking about Florida State and Clemson and realignment and why do they want out and who should go. But I will tell you this, it is definitely a conversation for in line at the food. It is definitely a line for a conversation for when you're walking around during a commercial break. That's kind of what everybody is chatting about. And Pete Thamel of ESPN here on this clip we're about to play for you tried to answer one of the more difficult questions that I've been asked, which is, why is Clemson and Florida State so adamant to leave the ACC? Here it is.
Hannah, the bottom line is competitiveness. Clemson sees themselves competing with South Carolina, Florida State with Florida. They see those schools in the SEC making more than $20 million annually than they project to earn in upcoming years. So the reasoning is they want to go to a league where they get a heftier TV contract. And so the basis of their lawsuits are simple. They want to get out of the grant of rights. They're challenging the legalities of those, which essentially are buying them to the league through 2036 through the TV contract. And they also want to try to escape the exit fees, which Florida State is estimated to be over $500 million.
We're actually going to pivot here. We're going to call an audible here on the drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Instead of talking about two teams that might want to leave the ACC, we're going to talk to one of the players of a brand new ACC team. Craig Woodson, redshirt senior safety from Cal, just sat down at our table here at ACC Kickoff. Craig, how's the East Coast treating you? Does it feel like an environment you could play football in?
Yeah, it definitely does. I'm from Texas, so I'm kind of like familiar with the East Coast just a little bit. But this is my first time in Charlotte, though, but it feels good, man. It feels good to be out here.
Have you gotten the opportunity to experience any North Carolina barbecue?
Not yet.
Okay.
I had the Bojangles, I think.
Bojangles, that works.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's not barbecue, but
yeah,
it's that's a
I had that earlier
pitch.
though. It was pretty good.
All right. Are you big into the Texas barbecue scene? Because around here, people are there's a lot of conversation about it.
Yeah, definitely big into it. But I like my mom. She be whipping it up, so I be going home trying to get a plate from her.
Tough to argue with that one. Yeah. We're talking with Craig Woodson, as we said, from Cal. Seems like there's a lot of sixth-year college football players walking around here today. We talked with one earlier. You were going to talk with a few more this year. How much, I don't want to say how much better, because obviously you get better every time, but looking at college football as a whole and as a sixth-year player versus where maybe you were the first time you stepped on the field for Cal, how much have you developed?
A lot. I mean, I think it just brings a lot of experience. This is my third true year playing because redshirt year, first year, and then COVID, and then injury after that. So, but I think I just have a lot of experience. I've been with a lot of people. I'm familiar with the schemes and the defense and who our team is. So I think it makes it easier for me.
So with you being a safety, that was kind of a setup for this next question. 6 years ago, you see Jaden Ott in the B gap. How is that going differently maybe now versus when you were a freshman fresh out of Texas at Cal for the first time?
Yeah, so if I was to see him as a freshman coming out, I'll probably be intimidated a little bit just because knowing that he's a hard runner downhill. But now I'll kind of look forward to it. Like practice, I look forward to going and hitting him. I tell him every time, you can run towards me. I'm not going to back down from you.
We're talking with Craig Woodson, safety from Cal. I say that because Jaden Ott is somebody that's coming in with a little bit of hype to the ACC, running back, your teammate. But still, as many YouTube highlights as you watch, it's still going to be something new to this conference.
Yep.
And I guess, give us the secret. How do you get them on the ground, right? Like spill the beans is what I'm asking here to help out the other ACC schools.
You got to take out the motor, man. That's really what any good back, man, you got to take out the motor. So you got to get a strong, firm wrap on them, and that's how you really get them on the ground. You got to actually drive your feet. Once you make contact, you have to drive your feet, or you just going to bounce off of them.
Have you been briefed on any of the running backs from the ACC that maybe you're looking forward to checking out?
Not really. I've heard of the one from UNC.
Omarion Hampton?
I've heard from him, heard about him, but not really too much other people.
All right, so the scouting report or the scouting hasn't been done in full as of yet?
Hasn't been done yet, but it's definitely going to be in the works soon, man. I just be going on YouTube, just watching games from the ACC and stuff. So,
one thing I'm always looking for is when coaches played a particular position, what it's like to play for them at that position, right? Coach Wilcox is a safety.
Yeah.
You're a safety. Is he harder on you? Are you guys closer? Like what's that relationship like?
I think we're a little bit closer because of it. So we're able to just talk about things. And obviously he doesn't really talk to us that much about safety because he has a lot of other things going on during practice. But when he gets his chance, he'll come over to the defense, to the safeties, watch how we practice, and just give us little things here and there. But yeah, it's kind of cool though, just knowing that he's a safety whenever he played.
I asked this earlier of another one of the new ACC players, but I looked up your schedules in your 5 years with Cal. So whether you're in the meeting room, on the field, in the scouting report, you never played an ACC team.
Nope.
what do you know about these? Like, what's the reputation when you think of ACC football? What's the first thing that jumps into your brain?
I've just heard that like they're bigger. I've just heard that, but I haven't really heard like too much about the ACC. Like I don't really know too much, I feel like, but I'm honestly just excited to play these other teams. Like you said, I've never played them before, so just having that new competition, that new challenge, I'm just ready for it.
And then, I was poking around preparing for our interview. Did I see a photographer Instagram for you?
Yeah.
You got the side hustle going on.
See the flicks.
And then graduated from Cal in May with a degree in film and media.
Yeah.
Are we looking movies? You have a whole new audience here, right? The ACC. We're on the air in the Triangle in North Carolina. Like what are you trying to project here?
Well, I play football, right?
Okay.
But I mean, on the side, I do get into photography. All my teammates know they need pics. They can come and get at me. I'm gonna get them right. Or I mean, just growing up, like my aunt was a filmmaker, so I kind of just learned from her a little bit, and I kind of always had an interest in it. And I've always been watching movies ever since a kid, so I just love to just sit there and watch movies, kind of dissect like how things are shot and things like that. So maybe I might get into it after football. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens.
We're getting to wrap it up, so quickly here, give us one like deep cut movie, like when somebody says, hey, what should I watch on this flight, right? Everybody's gonna be going on these West Coast, East Coast flights. Give us one movie that maybe we wouldn't think of that's pretty good.
Out of Time. With Denzel Washington.
I feel like I've seen every Denzel movie, but Out of Time isn't jumping to my brain, so a deep cut, that's what I asked for.
Yep.
Craig, we appreciate you for stopping by. Good luck.
Appreciate you.
Once again, that's Craig Woodson, redshirt senior safety for Cal, and potentially maybe the next movie star, next Denzel, just stopping by, or photographer, well-rounded over there at Cal. With that being said, can I just say this? We've now spoken to a Stanford and a Cal athlete. I'm not saying all stereotypes are true, but they've both been Stanford data engineer, intern, talking about the success in the business world of their alumni base, like very social network, like very Stanford.
Oh yeah.
Even though that's not Stanford, that's Harvard. And then just now talking with Craig Woodson, seemed very like Bay Area, seemed very, very Cal, right? Into the pictures, the photography. Obviously both were still football first, but it does seem like the schools that are coming into the ACC are going to bring a different kind of flair, right? Just a different vibe than what we've been seeing on the East Coast for all these years.
And it's interesting when you asked both Tristan Sinclair, the linebacker from Stanford, and then now Woodson from Cal about what's your perception of the ACC? Like, you've never played them before. And one said, I hear they're fast, speed. And there was like, yeah, I hear they're bigger. It's like, oh, okay.
They're kind of like Paul Bunyan, right? It's just a myth of whatever.
Bigger, faster.
Bigger, faster, stronger.
And I think as well as that for us, we don't fully know what to expect from them either. We just don't. It's going to be like,
it's a lot of hearsay. It's a lot of, I was told that guy was good. And then you get to see if they are.
Okay, let's find out. It's like we keep hearing, like we mentioned SMU in the last segment we talked about. It's like, we hear SMU's pumped and ready to go. People are telling us, Vegas is telling us that they're going to be good. We just don't know. And that's actually kind of one of the curiosities about this season for me that I'm excited about. It's just, I don't know what to expect when Stanford rolls into the Triangle or Cal or SMU. We don't know. And that's the exciting part.
We have these weird reputations, right? That's kind of what it is.
It's like Boston College. You kind of know what you're going to get.
Well,
those kinds of things.
It's the excitement of the new, right?
It's the unknown.
Exactly.
It's the excitement of the unknown.
We just have relationships with everyone in the ACC already.
Yep.
We've hung out before. We know what your karaoke song is. You're not going to surprise us with Another One Bites the Dust again. Cal, it's like they're going to the microphone and we're going, I have no idea what we're going to get here. Could be anything, right? You got to wait for that first note. And that's what we're seeing. With that being said, let's jump to a team that we do know fairly well. Team that's been in the ACC for quite some time. Virginia Tech, their media availability was earlier today. We talked with one of their better players on the defensive side, Dorian Strong, senior defensive back, senior corner, earlier, and that conversation is coming at you right now. Welcome back into the drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are now joined by a senior defensive back from Virginia Tech, Dorian Strong, here at ACC Kickoff. Dorian, we got to start with the important stuff. Have you played college football 25 as yourself? And if so, does it live up to the actual hype of reality?
So now I haven't played with myself yet. I have to go get a PlayStation 5 and then get the game, obviously. But you know, I've seen some of my friends play the game, and, you know, I'm a good player. I feel like, you know, got to work on my speed. I got to work on my man coverage and my press. It should be higher. Like, they made me higher in zone coverage than man coverage, and I'm a man corner. So that's a little disrespect. But it was great game.
So I was going to say that little scouting report, is that like, you got to put it into your own game now? Or are you out there like, I got to actually ball out on man coverage so these gamers watching know that the fake me isn't like the real me?
Yeah, so it's more about like when the game updates. So
okay.
Hopefully, you know, it's going to be updates throughout the year, and, you know, they see what they see and they update my stuff, because that's not realistic.
Has the team been getting after it? Like the trash talk, a lot of time spent on the game?
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, we a couple of my teammates got the game actually before it even came out. Like, they paid their own money, like, cool, because we get it for free. But it was like, nah, I want to play it today. So like probably like 8 of them got the game, and they started playing instantly.
Dorian Strong, senior defensive back, Virginia Tech, joining us here live at ACC Kickoff. Dorian, I used to cover Virginia Tech back in the day. So you've been through a lot at Virginia Tech, coming in with Justin Fuente as the head coach, going through that transition, the ups and downs. Coach Pry obviously now getting things going in the direction he wants to see it going. So I'll ask this question, and my cousin played for Virginia Tech in the early 2000s, so I've followed him for a long time. Is Virginia Tech back? Like, that's what all the fans are asking. Is the old school Virginia Tech back, particularly on defense?
Yes, I can say that, you know, with a lot of confidence. I'm a big competitor myself. The two guys that are here with me, Kyron Drones and Antoine Powell-Ryland, are also, you know, big competitors. So, you know, we are back, and we're going to show that we are back.
You brought up Kyron Drones. I always say nobody knows the quarterback like the defensive backs that go up against him every day in practice, and every time you're throwing on 7-on-7, and every time you're throwing 1-on-1s. Give us the scouting report on Kyron Drones as a quarterback.
So I probably wouldn't go into too much details, but yeah, I mean,
you don't got to give up the secrets, but we watched him play last year, so we know a little bit about him. But what more can you give us?
You know, obviously, fast guy, big guy, strong arm. He does a good job at you know, looking me off sometimes. Like, I feel like when me and him go up against each other in practice, I feel like we are kind of like at our best, like, because when I'm watching him back there, take his read steps, take his drops, like, you know, it's very much meticulous, very you know, just very good. And so, yeah, I say it's just he has a good look off, and yeah, good quick game.
Now we're talking with Dorian Strong, senior defensive back, Virginia Tech at ACC Kickoffs. The teams we cover in North Carolina specifically, big stories this offseason is transfer portal. Who's going where, you know, which starter left, who's coming in to be an impact starter. Virginia Tech, 22 returning starters. That's almost unheard of in even pre-transfer portal, right? Just when guys were, you know, graduating or going pro or whatever. What was it about this team that made everybody come back?
The brotherhood. And, you know, a lot of us believe, like, you know, I feel like the guys who were draft eligible probably also, you know, didn't get the numbers that they were hoping for. So, you know, that also is just a big, you know, reason to come back. But then when you look at the team overall, you're like, okay, who's coming back? We got, Dorian. You got all these people. You got APR. You got Bayshaw too. And just a lot of guys coming back, like, you know, getting the puzzle back right. So it's like, shoot, we might as well not break this up.
You know, are the guy's still coming for your job, I guess is what I'm asking, because every job kind of has somebody assigned to it.
Yes, sir. No, that's a great question. What I would say is, for just us specifically, like, you know, I'm year 5 in, Soar is going on year 3. So it's just like, now I've stepped into this role, this big leadership role. We have a lot of young guys in the room. So, and then me personally, like, I'm not really worried about Arnold. I'm worried about just what's going around the country. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's really just about like pouring in my competitive nature onto the younger guys. So it's when it's their time to step up, they don't blink an eye. They ready for everything, you know, because when you get in that game as a freshman, like I tell them, just because I played as a freshman, Mansour's played as a freshman, so we have like experience through it all. So just talking to them and telling them like, look, like when you get in that game, they're going to come right at you, because it's like, cool, me and Soar out there, you know, they're like, maybe this is like a 50-50 play. It may not work. But once they see what Dante Lovett, Braylon Johnson, they're going to check, you know, fade, they're going to check one of their beaters. So, you know, you better be prepared to when you get in the game, because they're going to come at you. And, you know, Coach Jones does a lot with us with just trying to be a liability and asset. So you just got to know which one you are. And if you're a liability, you just got to work up to be an asset.
Last question for you, and we're talking with Dorian Strong, senior defensive back, Virginia Tech, here at ACC Kickoff. Have you noticed all these signs that say the conference of the quarterback? And they're over here, and there's another sign down there with a bunch of stats on how great all the quarterbacks are in the ACC. As a defensive back, how does it make you feel when your own conference is saying we're the conference of the quarterback, and meanwhile you're out there trying to stop those guys?
Oh, I love it, because if you think this quarterback is so good, I'm gonna show you why he's not so good. You know?
All right.
But yeah, I never noticed that. You know, at Hokies we DBU. You know, so.
D'Angelo Hall was on the Panthers staff for a while, so the history. Did you hear from the legends very often? Do they come back and help out?
Yeah, they definitely come back and help out. They love giving us knowledge, love giving us leadership skills, and I love just picking their brain when it comes to just like the ins and out tips and tricks. Of the game.
Who are we talking about?
Greg Stroman, Eddie Royal, the Fuller brothers. At the Edmond brothers. Just seeing Mike Vick the other day. Just got to meet Bo Jackson, Eric Dickerson, and Marcus Allen. So, you know, to pick their brains was cool. It was fun seeing them. You know, I know my dad is a big fan of them. So, yeah, great time.
Dorian, we appreciate you for taking the time to stop by.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Once again, that's Dorian Strong, senior defensive back for Virginia Tech. That was recorded earlier today. And if we had a little bit more time, I would have had to say, in what scenario did you bump into, what was it, Eric Dickerson, Bo Jackson, and Marcus Allen?
Yeah, great question.
Because part of me wants to believe that just like the best running backs of all time just moving packs, they just all kind of like
all roaming around together.
Yeah, they're just you bump into one of them, you bump into all of them. Because most of those kind of old legends that he mentioned were giving him tips and tricks were Virginia Tech guys, right? Like Eddie Royal, who's part of the ACC network, he's here. He's a Virginia Tech guy. Mike Vick, Virginia Tech guy. And then he just randomly threw in 3 great running backs that are not Virginia Tech guys.
Just Hall of Famers, you know, no big deal.
Yeah, just the other day I hung out with Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson, and Eric Dickerson, and I just I just want to know if it's like, you know, then I walked down the hall and it was Steve Largent, Jerry Rice, and Tim Brown. It's like, it just do they stay in their position groups throughout all of history. But once again, thank you to not only Dorian, but everybody that's joining us here at ACC Kickoff, the players and coaches. And we are expecting our next guest to be Justin Wilcox, the head coach of Cal, later on this hour in about 15 minutes roughly. But before we jumped into those last couple of conversations, and we had to be a little bit fluid, we did want to talk a bit about Pete Thamel, ESPN's comments on why Clemson and Florida State are so adamant to leave the ACC. We'll play it one more time for a refresher.
Hannah, the bottom line is competitiveness. Clemson sees themselves competing with South Carolina, Florida State with Florida. They see those schools in the SEC making more than $20 million annually than they project to earn in upcoming years. So the reasoning is they want to go to a league where they get a heftier TV contract. And so the basis of their lawsuits are simple. They want to get out of the grant of rights. They're challenging the legalities of those, which essentially are buying them to the league through 2036 through the TV contract. And they also want to try to escape the exit fees, which Florida State is estimated to be over $500 million.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. What I don't think anyone is bringing up when it's like, oh, this is why Florida State and Clemson are acting the way they are, this is why they're doing what they're doing, is there's a good chance they're just costing themselves money.
For sure.
If their concern is South Carolina and Florida have more money than they do, how do you think a very, very expensive, very, very elongated and drawn-out court situation is going to make you money, right? It's you have to think you can win, or else there's really no reason to go through all of this. And I don't think they can. The grant of rights is what the grant of rights is. So, like, asking why Florida State and Clemson want to leave, they want more money. Great,
cool.
Right? I want a new car. I want a penthouse, right? I want whatever. Like, whatever you want, you can say what you want. But unless there's a path to it, you're just bashing your head against the wall. If you want a better media rights deal, you should have signed a better media rights deal, right? And if you wanted to be on par with South Carolina and right, because the obvious kind of natural rivalry is Clemson, South Carolina. Like, if Clemson wanted to be on par with South Carolina, I mean, you should have made the same decisions they made.
Could have.
Or how about this? And there was a point in time where the ACC, and this was according to Jim Phillips, who opened up his comments yesterday, the commissioner of the ACC has never led in conference revenue. They've never made the most money. But for a short time in the early 2000s, they did lead the all of the conferences in college sports in distribution.
Yes.
So the ACC was paying their schools more than any other conference in college sports. Which is big, right? And guess what? Somehow, like, USC was still winning national championships, right? Somehow the ACC didn't run away with things. It's easy to complain about not having when you're the one on the bottom, and the ACC is not on the bottom; they're just slightly below the top. When they were on top, there was no concerns about equality. When they were getting the most money from their conference, there were no concerns about equality. It's very, I don't know. It's very frustrating to me that these schools are acting in a way that if, like, one of the players here at ACC Kickoff acted that way to their coach, they'd be called childish. They'd be told they need to mature. They need to grow up. They'd be doing 5:30 a.m. runs every week. But because, like, these schools can afford to pay lawyers, nobody is treating them that way, which is probably how they deserve to be treated.
It's like a player complaining about playing time when they're already a starter.
Yeah.
You know, like, I want to go to this other school so I can play more, but it's like you're already playing.
It's a wide receiver complaining about targets when they're on the field running routes, and the quarterback's going, "I throw it to the open guy."
Yeah,
like what? Like, you're not at a disadvantage over there. You just got to get open.
Just get open,
right?
Yeah.
Florida State has more money than most programs.
They spent the most money out of any school in the ACC, by the way.
So, and by the way, that was up until this year was a really good point to make.
Yeah.
Because Florida State did kind of roll, and they went undefeated this past year.
Sure.
But prior to that, it was like, you spend more money than everyone in the ACC, you don't beat them. So why can't the same logic work the other way, and you beat teams that have more money than you? Just like, I think it was Wake Forest. Wake Forest that beat them like 4 of the last 5 times or something like that. I'm going, like, why can't you do what Wake Forest is doing and just go beat a team that makes more money than you do?
And what Pete Thamel's point about Clemson competing with South Carolina and Florida State competing with Florida, last time I checked, Florida State's better than Florida.
Clemson's better
than South Carolina.
And they want to protect that lead. I get it.
I get it, but I'm sorry. It's not like South Carolina is running Clemson down right now. I think they beat him this past season. Okay, fine.
You know where South Carolina's better?
Nowhere.
Transfer portal.
Oh, there you go.
They're better in the transfer portal rankings because Dabo still refuses to take any. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're expecting to hear from Justin Cox, the head coach of Cal. And actually, before that even, I want to make sure you all know what's going on over at Capital Financial Advisory Group. We're talking to a bunch of coaches today. You should talk to Coach Pete from Capital Financial Advisory. He can help you regain control of your foundation for retirement and see what you need to do to get to and through a worry-free retirement. Call now for Coach Pete's famous and elaborate total retirement plan. That's 22 steps. Yes, 22 It's elaborate and complete steps that go all the way through the process of identifying your unique financial composition and the best way to navigate the journey along the way to and through retirement. Coach Pete and his team at Capital Financial develop a total and customized retirement plan so you can secure and maintain both confidence and control in your finances. Just make sure you let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, when you give them a call. The number to dial, the number to call, I could have said any of those things. Instead, I decided to say none of them. The number to call is 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Or you can text my name, Tim, to 600-700. As I mentioned, we're expecting to hear from Justin Wilcox, head coach of Cal, coming up next.
Planning an engagement? Now's the time. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's spectacular engagement ring blowouts. 3 days only. Engagement rings, loose diamonds, and wedding bands. Up to 60% off. You'll be blown away by the huge selection of diamond sizes and engagement ring styles near cost, at cost, even below cost. Bailey's engagement ring blowout. July 25th through 27th in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Learn more at BaileyBox.com. Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's bow time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles sandwich combo time.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best riders tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to PNC Arena this weekend. Brought to you by Big 80 Tires and Great Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Wait, she's posting pics with a dude in Mexico. We just broke up.
If Heineken Silver was a doom-scrolling ex-boyfriend, it would have all the feels. None of the new boyfriend jealousy.
She looks happy. I'm gonna message her. Hey, Stace, loved the super cute post with @RideRyan7. Enjoy Mexico and that ceviche spot from last year. Send pics.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer. Only 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are expecting here at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte to be joined by Justin Wilcox, the head coach of Cal, in what has to be a strange experience for a Cal head football coach who played at Oregon. His dad played at Oregon. His brother played at Oregon. Has to be a little strange to be coming to ACC Media Day in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I wonder if it's like going to a new school. I never experienced this in my life, but a kid moves in like the middle of middle school or something like that. I mean, you experienced this.
I moved around a bunch.
It's just like I've got new friends.
Yeah, it's just like, hey guys,
hi.
I'm not going to get the inside jokes for a while because I wasn't here for them, but eventually I'll pick up. I promise.
I'm here to play.
Ironically, what I and a lot of kids use is sports. So it's like, hey, let's just play football and then we'll figure out the friendship thing later.
Yeah.
That was
Hey,
kind
you're
of my
good.
strategy for making friends.
Like, you're good.
It was moving the summertime. By fall, you're ready to play. So I think that's going to be Cal and Stanford's strategy, right? If they're going to make any friends over here, it's going to be bonding over football. So we'll have to dive in with Coach Wilcox when he gets here. A little bit of news, and this is when I say little bit, I mean little bit.
Wee bit.
Shao Smith-Wade and Jalen Coker were on the injury list. The non-football injury list for the
no,
Panthers.
they were on the PUP list, physically
unable to perform.
Physically unable to perform list for the Carolina Panthers.
We say were because they were taken off today,
right down the road from where we are right now,
which is kind of hilarious because today was basically just your conditioning test and there was no practice.
Yeah.
So
well, they're rookies, so they already reported. So I don't
that's
know.
even more so. So maybe they just waited until they didn't have to take a conditioning test.
Possibly.
Or maybe by passing their conditioning test, they said, okay, you're good to go. But some are really excited about Coker as kind of a sleeper contributor to the offense at wide receiver.
Yeah.
And Smith-Wade, just by nature of being a draft pick at corner, a position where depth is paramount for the Panthers this year. Their availabilities are going to be different levels of, but could be both important to the Panthers this year in training camp and beyond.
I know a lot of people are very high on Jalen Coker for the fact that some people actually called him the best route runner out of anyone, like coming and with 7 wide receivers drafted in the first round. This guy goes undrafted and people still say he's the best route runner possibly in the draft, which is a high praise. High praise.
It's like also kind of a backhanded compliment, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're the best route runner in the draft and you go undrafted, that probably says something about your physical abilities. But either way, we're going to find out in training camp now that he is off the physically unable to perform list. And as we promised, the head coach of Cal at his first ACC kickoff, Justin Wilcox, is now joining us here on the drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. As he gets the microphone set, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. A lot of different microphones, a lot of different interviews.
All good.
You're
I figured it out.
them all. Well, kind of along those lines, I was just saying this to our listeners. From like your Wikipedia page, you look like an old school West Coast Pac-12. Your dad played at Oregon. The Wilcox are like the first family of Oregon football. You coach in the Pac-12. It's got to be weird being here, right?
I don't think it's weird. I think it's, if you'd have asked, 3 years ago if I thought we'd be here, I thought you're probably a little crazy, but we're excited to be here. I mean, lots happened in college football in the last couple of years, and we are relishing the opportunity.
All right. And coaches, football coaches especially, right? You love a good slogan. You love like an identity, the core pillars of the program. What's the identity that you want the ACC to talk about, like, right after they play Cal, right? When the coaches of the other teams get together and they're like, geez, that team was.
They love playing. They love playing together. I think, guys, that you can see it when a team loves playing football, and same with individual players, and I know guys have a lot of different motivations on why they play the game, but the love of the game, the passion for the game, the competitiveness of it, that's what we want to show.
So let's talk about a few of them. We're talking with the head coach of Cal, Justin Wilcox. Jaden Knott, we're talking 30, 35 carries a game. What are we expecting this year?
He might. I don't know if 35 carries every game would be optimal, but there'll be some games. You got it. And we're going to make sure he touches the ball a lot. I mean, he can run it. He can catch it. He can return it. We obviously we have some other backs that we feel strong about, but Jaden obviously is going to get his share of touches, and there might be some of those games where it's as many as needed.
How difficult is that, right? Because, I've always thought that's got to be difficult for the offensive play caller to have that kind of restraint when it's like, no, I want that guy. Every play looks better with our All-American, right?
Yep.
But you do have to work in the other backs to get them reps or to spell the All-American. How difficult is it, when there's a 3rd and 2 or when there's a 2nd and 2 to not just go straight to your bell cow?
Well, on the critical downs, you want your best players having the ball. Can you manage that, especially if you're running some tempo and things like that? Not always, but we're going to make sure Jaden gets his touches. We're also going to be cognizant of, spreading the ball around, because we're going to need to do that. And other guys are going to have to carry the load, not only in the backfield, but the QBs and the receivers and tight ends. So, it's our job to manage that. But I know Jaden will take the ball as much as we give it to him.
as every running back that I've ever met is in that category.
That's right.
And wide receivers as well. Speaking of the guys getting it to the wide receivers, Fernando Mendoza, he actually just walked by here. You see how the ACC brands themselves, right? They're the conference of quarterbacks.
Yep.
They throw stats in your face. 13 quarterbacks. This is straight from the ACC handbook. 13 quarterbacks in the conference with 20-plus passing touchdowns and 3,500-plus passing yards in their career. Your guy's not one of them. Where does he fit in as a passer with so many names already established?
Well, Fernando came in. He was a year ago. He's a third-string quarterback. He had just redshirted. Halfway through the season, he took over the starting job. Really won the team over. He showed great competitiveness, leadership, and got better and better as the season went on. He still has things to work on, and he's done an awesome job in this offseason, improving himself as a player. So I think the future is very bright for Fernando. Chandler Rogers also came in from the transfer portal. He's a seasoned player. He's played a lot of college football and seen it all. He can make plays with his legs and his arm. He's done a really nice job getting familiar with the offense. So we feel really good about the quarterback room, and both those guys, the competition in that room is making both of them better.
Talk of the transfer portal, and we're talking with Justin Wilcox, head coach of Cal, Kyon Grays, and Tobias Merriweather out of Ohio State and Notre Dame. Obviously, those locations coming out of the transfer portal are going to raise some eyebrows. Their recruiting profiles. What did they bring to the offense? How do they kind of change it?
Well, they certainly have traits. I mean, Tobias is big and fast. I mean, he can really run, and he's tall. Grays got here, and he's been here this summer. And he can really move. Mm-hmm. He can run. He's a competitive guy. That room has more physical traits. I think that group, just from the athletic standpoint, we've improved significantly. Now it's about where does it all sort out. I couldn't tell you right now who's number 1 to number 7. But there's talent in there, and it's our job as coaches is to develop that talent and for those guys to take advantage of the opportunities to be the guy.
You have a guy that we're pretty familiar with in our area of Carolina, Ben Finley. Has he?
Ben was with us last year. Ben is no longer there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to hit him up for a little scouting report? He knows the ACC pretty well.
He does. Ben played a few games for us, did a good job, and at the end of the year he transferred out. But Ben did a good job for us. He was at NC State. That's exactly right.
One more thing here, and we're getting the 2 minutes here. I have to ask, Boise State 07 Fiesta Bowl might be my favorite college football game of all time. You're the DC for Boise, helping pull off that upset. Give us some stories from the sideline.
Okay. It was my first year as a defensive coordinator. We had a really good football team. Brian Harsin was our offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. Coach Pete, Chris Peterson was the head coach. A lot of those guys are still coaching. Played Oklahoma. It was kind of one of the first, you call it, I guess, in those days, is the BCS Buster. Mm-hmm. The little guys playing Oklahoma. And
because of you, we rooted for Hawaii and stuff. And then they got smoked by Georgia.
Yeah. And looking back
it was
on
the next Boise.
And Oklahoma had a really good team, obviously. Adrian Peterson was phenomenal. But we went into the game very confident and ended up winning. And we actually played real well at spurts and made a couple of bad decisions that kind of put us in a tighter game. But looking back on it, the players we had at Boise, they were really good. We had, I think, 4 guys in the secondary played in the NFL. The left tackle was a first-round draft pick. The running back was good. 3 of the wideouts played. The tight end was a draft pick. So it wasn't just a bunch of ham and eggers. These guys were real players. And they were great to coach. It was a real competitive game. And obviously the ending was what it was. But I do remember sitting up in the box when I was sitting there and they called the 2-point play, the Statue of Liberty. And I remember right when we lined up, the coaches in the box, because of the alignment of the defense, we got them. And that, so kind of before the play, it was we got them.
So the most shocking play, in the entire season, you had a 6 seconds before
head up. It was headset's coming off.
All right, there you go. Justin, we appreciate you for taking the time and telling a story or two, and good luck as you make your way into the ACC.
Thank you very much. Go Bears.
Once again, that's Justin Wilcox, Cal head coach, joining us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Right now, I want to jump into a piece of advice for you all. I want to tell you about my friends, my partners over at Window Nation. Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation. If you were in Charlotte like we were earlier today, your windows got tested. There was a storm that came through here that I am very pleased. The skylight right above our head, the windows over to our right were put together in an appropriate fashion. If you want to have that kind of confidence, you need to call up Window Nation. Justin, who works with my family and came into the house and gave all of our explanations and consultations, he can do the same for you. And he brings in like a piece of luggage, and you're like, how could you need all of this to tell me about the windows? But then every bit in there explains a different way that the quality, the craftsmanship, the installation process of Window Nation is top notch. They have heat lamps to show you how heat can be transferred through the glass, and obviously not through the glass they use, to make sure you're keeping your energy bill low. It's really incredible stuff. It's you think of windows, it's like it's a sheet of glass up on the wall. There's science behind it. There's technology behind it, just like everything else. So give them a call, and they can explain it to you a little bit better. And on top of that, right now, if you buy 2 windows, you get 2 windows free. Plus, pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Go ahead and give them a call, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com. We'll have more from live here in Charlotte coming up next, including the starting 5. Stick around. Win Your Weight in Meat is back on 99.9 The Fan. Text PORK, P-O-R-K, to 919-860-5326 and enter for your chance to be one of our finalists. Through August 2nd, we'll pick 10 people to come on air during the drive with me, Tim Donnelly, and share their weight. On August 5th, we will randomly select one lucky winner, and they will score their weight in meat. Served up by the North Carolina Pork Council and their dedicated team of farmers that put bacon and barbecue on your plate. Learn more at ncpork.org.
An orthopedic surgeon makes understanding pain painless.
It's the biggest frustration that patients have.
This is Dr. Pamela Mehta talking about aches with unexpected origins.
I see patients with pain in their knees, their hips, their back. Oftentimes, the pain is actually coming from their feet.
Bet they aren't expecting to hear that.
Those patients are super surprised. They can't believe that the pain in their knee isn't coming from actually inside the knee. But if you think about it, the feet are the base to your whole body.
That's why she suggests personally fit arch supports. Emphasis on the personal fit.
If you get something basing it just on your shoe size, it isn't going to fit you properly.
And if it doesn't fit well, it probably won't work well.
Go get arch supports fitted to you. It's as easy as going into a Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today, or just stop by.
Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, follow Crash Davis and his Durham Bulls story in a new genre. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We have active weather. We have the potential for some localized flooding, maybe some damaging wind gusts with storms. 75 the low tonight with storms lingering into the night. More storms to come tomorrow with a flooding threat as well. The high up to about 92.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones closes the day down 57 points at 40,358.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Even though we are at ACC football kickoff in Charlotte, it is still time for the starting five. And as always, we start with number 5. Panthers veterans report today to training camp.
Yeah. Did their conditioning test, the whole deal.
Did the conditioning test. They revealed a new cooling trailer.
Yeah.
Technology is going to, like, the technology surrounding sports and recovery, everything is getting crazier and crazier. So basically what I believe it is, and I let some media walk around in it today. Obviously we weren't there because we were here. It's like a tractor trailer, or like a camper, but it's 20 degrees inside. So if you're outside running around hot, you need to cool down quick. Like, instead of jumping in an ice bath, instead of pouring cold water over your head, you can walk into the tundra.
Yeah,
and hang out in there for a little bit, which sometimes I need after yard work. So maybe we should look into putting one in like neighborhoods in the triangle that we can all share.
Icebox your garage.
But yeah, exactly. But in actual, like, to actually make the point out of Panthers vets reporting, I think in a lot of ways, coaches, especially because they're control freaks, right? They want to know you run your route at 11.5 yards, not 12 yards, and make sure you're playing with your right foot and you square cut it. Like, they're control freaks, right? I think the worst part of their calendar, even if it's the part of their calendar where they get to spend a little free time, maybe even hang out with their family, is the 5 weeks where the players are on their own.
Oh, yeah, between mandatory minicamp and training camp, yeah.
Because now they know, nobody tore their ACL hiking in Costa Rica while there for their cousin's destination wedding, right? They know that, nobody got mixed up in the wrong thing. Like, nobody's holding out, at least not as far as we know for the Panthers.
Nope, everyone's reported.
So it's, and no hold-ins expected, which we're seeing across the NFL. Jordan Love is at practice. He's in meetings. He's not doing anything for the Packers until he gets a new contract. So it's a hold in. Like, it seems like the Panthers have avoided one of, like, the murky parts of the calendar without any serious things that they're going to have to deal with.
I mean, outside of a couple guys that are recovering from injuries, like we've talked about with DJ Wanham and Amari Barno and a few others,
injuries that they've been dealing with for a while.
Yeah, Josh Nyman, like a few guys, Cam Sims, Jonathan Brooks, like those are the 5 guys that are just, they're not able to practice right now because they physically can't. Otherwise, everyone's there, which is kind of like, it's like almost like a breath of fresh air. It's like, oh, like there isn't any like off-season or off-field drama or anything like that. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, guys are here to play.
And that's not always the, like, last year you go back to it, Brian Burns was the one who, was he going to practice? Was he not going to practice?
That was a big question
was he
last
there?
year.
The contract situation, are they going to extend him? What's going on? And I don't even like and I believe if you go back and look on our YouTube page, you could find it. I don't think Brian Burns was like childish in the way he handled it. He did practice most of the time, if not the entire time. I don't know if he missed many practices. It was just, there was drama, and the Panthers don't have that this year. Sometimes it's just luck, right? You just don't have any contracts kind of due, right? If everybody's either expected to play out or under contract for multiple years or on rookie contracts or whatever, it's just a little bit easier. But I think that's nice for the Panthers, right? Like, focus on the football. Kind of what I've been saying here, right? Like, let the players focus on the football, not on, like, Florida State wants out. Like, let the Panthers focus on the football for once and not on, is that guy going to be the highest paid at his position? Or are we going to trade that guy? Do we have the right player for this position? It's like, they kind of know what their roster is. They kind of know what their contract situations are. Now you just get to go play football.
Now you just get to go do it. And one thing as well with the Panthers in their practice facility, because their first practice is at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow, they're in the middle of revamping their practice facility because they're not down in Spartanburg at Wofford for training camp. They're doing it right here, literally like 5-6 blocks down the street from where we're sitting right now in Charlotte. But they're redoing the fields. They're actually, I know at some point they're actually going to build like a structure for as an indoor practice facility, not just we're going to put a bubble over a field. It's actually going to be like a physical standing building. So that's in the works as well. They've got new bleachers that they put up for fans to come watch and things like that. So for the fans that may not be able to go to an actual game, but hey, let's go watch our favorite players at training camp practice, they're actually giving you a little bit of something with that too, and they're actually going to have concessions. So they're trying to add to the fan experience outside of actual games, which I think is actually a good thing for the organization. They need things like that.
Now, I'm not saying it doesn't get hot in Charlotte.
Oh, it gets hot.
But I'm sure that a few of the veterans on the Panthers are going, we couldn't have had the cooling box down there in South Carolina these past few years because it got a little toasty. That cooling shed would have gone a long way towards making their days a little bit more enjoyable.
Can only imagine.
Speaking of not making NFL players' days more enjoyable, let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Multiple reports out there that the NFL and the NFL Players Association are heating up talks on an 18-game NFL schedule.
Ugh.
Do you know what this is?
Dumb.
Well, yes. I was going to make a more clever point, but dumb works. You know when you ask somebody like, hey, can you get me a glass of water or something? I'm trying to think of this is a bad example. And they give you like a bucket and you're like, I guess technically that's right. That's what I asked for, but what am I supposed to do with this? I'm not going to drink out of a bucket, right? Like it's like, oh, you're being funny, or hey, can you toss? I don't know. I'm trying to think of I'm blanking on the spot, but basically, we all looked at the NFL, and if you have any awareness of calendars, you saw that President's Day was the week after the Super Bowl, right? That Monday that we all get off was the week after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could somehow, and this is what we asked for, if you could somehow get the Super Bowl 1 week later, then we could have Super Bowl parties and we wouldn't have to worry about going to work the next day. So
because it'd be President's Day off.
So how awesome would that be? Could we just bump it back? And they went, yeah, we'll add a game. And everyone went, no, that's not what I was asking. Technically, you did what I asked for, but you did it in an angry manner, and I don't want that. I just wanted you to move everything back one. But they added a game, or they look like they're going to add a game, which may get us the day after the Super Bowl off from work for many. Which you're going to hear some people say that's a pretty good consolation prize. I don't know if 18 games is the way I would do it. The way I would do it, ready for this? You take the schedules we have now.
Yeah.
You add a second bye week.
Yep.
Then you push everything back 1 week, all the playoffs back 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl gets pushed back 1 week. We still have that day after the Super Bowl off. Players get an additional bye, work on their bodies. You don't just lie about being about player safety. You're actually about player safety. And instead, you put on the ceremony like you're all about player safety as you add another regular season game.
Yeah, and the whole thing they're going to say is like, well, we're going to take away a preseason game. Like, you know damn well that your regular players aren't going to play in all 3 preseason games. It's just a fact, and they're not playing the entire game. You know for a damn well that's a fact, NFL. And this is it's agreed by the owners in that sense. But it's like, okay, if I'm a player, okay, what's the kickback for me? Like if we're going to add 18 games or add an 18th game, what's my kickback other than just an extra bye week? Like there's got to be more. Whether it's more in terms of guaranteed monies on signing bonuses or whatever it is, those kinds of things. There has to be a kickback for the players.
And the hard part about the players is the NFLPA. I feel like they're never aligned with what everybody wants.
No, because it's hard to get 1,700 people to all agree on one thing.
I assume they want, guaranteed contracts or closer to it, but that's never going to happen. They'll probably settle for less mini camps or something and just move on. I think at the very least it should be 1/18 more pay, right? You should get prorated out the extra game because
I think that's probably something they're going to try and do
because the NFL will get one additional game to sell to their media partners. So that money should 1/18 up.
Here's my big thing. I didn't even like it when they went to 17.
I don't either. I think
16 was fine, especially the way they structured the schedule. I thought it worked perfectly. But you're watering down your product.
Okay, you're making a real point. Go ahead. I have a joke point to make. But go ahead.
You're watering down your product. Now each game means less, in my opinion. Each game means less. You're watering down your product.
My joke point is I was just getting used to saying like they went 12-5.
Yeah, I know.
Because for the entire 17 games, I was going 12-4, 12-5. You know, they might go 11-5. I was messing that up. I just started getting 17 right now. They're going to add in another, and I'm never going to get 12-6. That doesn't make any sense.
Get ready to say week 20 of the NFL season.
Week 20 bye. They got their second bye coming up.
Second bye. Get ready to say week 20. When not that long ago was week 17, final week of the regular season.
We're going to have stats like Dave Canales is 2-1 after the second bye. Dave Canales is unreal out of the second bye, like because Andy Reid is the guy that plays great after a bye. It's like, well, does it apply to the second bye? Yeah, football. And I'm I'm the guy that watches Maction on Wednesdays. I'm going to watch all of the NFL that they give me, and even I'm saying like it's a lot.
It's too much.
Because 18 games plus 2 byes, that'll be 20 weeks, plus wild card round, plus divisional round, plus conference finals round, then a bye week off because they had the bye week in between, then the Super Bowl. That's 25 weeks. We're almost half a year of NFL football that counts. You add in preseason, over half a year.
Too much.
That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Is it too quiet coming out of the Carolina Hurricanes as far as news? I feel like we haven't for a while, and part of it is just the calendar, free agency, and you're right, all the deadlines and everything. But it just seems a little calm, a little quiet. And I have a toddler at home, so I'm of the belief that when things go too quiet, someone's probably getting themselves into trouble, right? If you hear them screaming and laughing, we're good. If you hear them quiet, they've probably got an ink of some kind. They have a marker, and there's a white couch in the other room, right? Like, if it goes too quiet, you got to be suspicious. Should we start getting suspicious that something's happening with the Canes? Because keep in mind, right, for those of you saying, like, nothing ever happens this time of the calendar, last year, the first day of ACC kickoff that we were covering it was when we got the news of the Spashinaho extension or contract.
Yeah, his contract extension, yep.
So, and I remember being here, different location, but in Charlotte with Adam Gold, and suddenly all this cool equipment we bring to cover ACC kickoff in football became like Adam needs it for an hour to crank out all of the Canes corner and to give immediate reaction on the Aho deal. And we had to mobilize in that way. So I'm just wondering, should we be ready to mobilize in that way this year?
The deadline is August 4th, because that's when Martin Necas's arbitration hearing is then, August 4th.
And we won't get Jarvis before that.
We won't. We won't get Jarvis before then. I personally do not think so, because the Canes don't know what the number is going to be for Necas right now. They just don't know. If it goes to arbitration, or an arbiter might say 5.5, might say 7. You don't know. Like, that's a significant difference. If an arbiter says 7 and you have about $14-ish million in cap space, it's kind of hard to get $8 million done for Seth Jarvis. So there's a lot of things that are still kind of up in the air. 14 players filed for arbitration in the NHL. Half of them have already agreed to something before actually having an arbiter decide for them. So none of them actually have gone to like an arbiter, and an arbiter has actually decided money yet.
Deadlines make deals.
That's kind of what we're waiting on. So that deadline for his hearing is August 4th. So it's a week and a half, basically.
So the answer is, it is not too quiet on the Canes front. The quiet makes sense.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
The quiet makes sense.
My gut tells me next week, end of next week, likely is when we start seeing, all right, Nate, let's figure this thing out. August 4th is arbitration. It's August 2nd. Let's do this thing. Are we signing this or are we not? Okay, then we're going to go to arbitration. Like, they'll figure something out.
And then we'll figure out Jarvis.
And then we'll figure out Jarvis right after that.
I understand.
One domino's got to fall first.
I understand why, but doesn't mean I have to like it. I don't like Jarvis being dealt with last.
But I think
I understand why. I understand why. I just don't have to like it.
Yes. And something to keep in mind is that Sebastian Aho's agent is the same agent as Seth Jarvis. Same agent.
And it's always worked out with Aho, but it has gotten a little spidery. It has gotten a little not great.
I don't think Dundon and Tulsky in the front office want to go down the road of like the offer sheet and everything that they had to deal with playing hardball with Sebastian Aho, 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. They don't want to go down that path again. Jarvis is going to get locked up for a long time here in Carolina.
Everybody keeps telling me.
Yep.
Just hasn't happened yet, which is I don't have to like it. I understand it. I'm just going to keep saying it. I understand I don't have to like it.
Offer sheet window's closed. So no one gets on to an offer sheet.
He's not going anywhere, especially this year.
He's not
but, you start worrying about the short terms, and then it's not as – I like the security and stability of a 8-year Seth Jarvis is going nowhere deal.
I like it too.
That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Patriots head coach Jerod Mayo spoke to the media ahead of their training camp getting underway in earnest. And he's actually said this in a bunch of different ways because reporters kept trying to get him to talk about it. But I'll give you the most basic quote I can find. And remember, the Patriots quarterback room right now consists of, amongst others, UNC product Drake May, who they drafted 3rd overall, and NC State product Jacoby Brissett, who they gave a decent chunk of change to in free agency. Jerod Mayo was quoted saying this: Jacoby is the starting quarterback at this point in time. That would say Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback at this point in time for the Patriots.
Key words being at this point in time.
I used to have when I was producing radio a long time ago, the host used to have me grab anytime he heard a coach say anything right now, he would have me grab the audio and we would start a timer. We would mark it down on a spreadsheet.
Okay.
So it would be like, Ryan Tannehill is our starting quarterback in Miami right now. And then we immediately were like, boom, let's see how long right now lasts.
Okay.
Because throwing right now or at this point in time, which is a nice little remix from Jerod Mayo, it makes it so no matter what you do from that point forward, you're not a liar.
Nope.
Right? If you say, he's our starting quarterback week 1, and then you end up starting someone else week 1, it's like, you lied to us. If you say he's our starting quarterback right now, July 23rd at 5:18, he is our starting quarterback, then if you make the decision to bench him at 5:21, you are not a liar, because you can just go, no, at 5:18, he was our starting quarterback. This is it's like a little dog whistle, kind of like just a little tone that not everybody can hear that says, be worried, Jacoby, be worried, right? Because your instinct is, he called me the starting quarterback. Great, I should be secure.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he said at this point in time, which means you have absolutely no job security and you should be very, very, look over your shoulder.
Like speaking in code.
Yeah. It's the perfect opportunity, and we kind of played out this hypothetical off air earlier, for Jacoby Brissett. By the way, the first Patriots preseason game is against Carolina. So it's the perfect opportunity for Jacoby Brissett to go out there and have to face J.C. Horn and Derek Brown and the ones of Carolina. And maybe he looks solid, maybe he looks rusty, whatever. And then when the Panthers pull their starters, the Patriots put in Drake May, who looks better against the backups. And then, well, Jacoby Brissett was the starter at that point in time, but Drake May's outperformed him in the preseason. And now we're going to make the switch. Coaches have their ways to make the guys they want to win the position battles. I used to think of it like this. All the head coach has to do is, when he knows the offense in a scrimmage is calling play action, walk up to the safety and go, hey, man, hey, come here. Strong safety, right? Field side safety, whatever it is. You've been really soft on your run stuff, right? Like, get down there. Don't be afraid to have some contact, right? Get down there and tackle the running back. He knows the offense is running play action. That safety now has it. It's like Inception. Has it in his brain, right? When, they're going to hand it off, comes flying downhill. Quarterback tosses it right over the safety for a touchdown off. And it's like, all right, look at that. Nobody knows that the coach did that, right? Nobody knows. The safety's not going to go tell anyone, coach, set me up. But meanwhile, he has influenced which quarterback looked better in that scrimmage, which may lead to the position being decided. If Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback at this point in time, that says nothing about the future. And whichever one Jerod Mayo wants to be the starting quarterback at whatever future point in time, that's who it's going to be. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1. ACC Kickoff going on as we speak.
We're here.
ACC football kickoff coverage on 99.9 The Fan is driven by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. The teams that we were interacting with today, and we have one more interview coming up in the not too distant future. Cal, Pitt, Stanford, Virginia, and Virginia Tech. I believe we spoke to at least one from every school represented today. Dennis, what was your main takeaway?
A lot of new faces. I think that's the big thing, is a lot of new faces, because we're seeing Stanford and Cal. It's and SMU yesterday. It's when it really hits you, because you can hear about it and talk about it, but when we actually physically see it, you're like, wait a second. We see all the banners, like even behind us, we see Carolina and NC State are right next to each other, and I look directly behind you, Tim, and I see a Cal banner. And over here, I also see a Stanford banner and an SMU banner. And then upstairs,
make all new banners. You're right.
And the ACC network, setup is like right on the level above us here in the hotel in the Hilton. And they have all the mannequins of all the uniforms of all the schools. And you see Stanford, Cal, and SMU. I'm like, yeah, it really hits you. Like, this is a real thing, and it just makes you wonder: is that what are they bringing to the table in terms of on the field? There's so much curiosity in terms of, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know what their style of play is, and they don't really know much. We asked, what's his name from Stanford earlier, the linebacker.
I have it right here. The Stanford linebacker
Tristan
we talked
Sinclair.
to was Tristan Sinclair.
We asked him, like, hey, what's your perception of the ACC? Like, yeah, we hear those guys are fast. And then we asked Craig Woodson, the defensive back from Cal, hey, what's your perception of the ACC? Hey, we hear those guys are bigger. They don't know. We don't know either.
I mean,
there's so much unknown.
It's 100% true. And it's the irony is when we bring up Stanford and Cal being in the ACC, so often the joke is like, oh, Elway, ACC legend.
Right.
And it's like,
Eric Dickerson.
Even that is us saying, like, well, we don't really know about this year's Stanford team.
We don't.
We know about the legends. It is kind of, there's something poetic about, it feels like we just got 3 teams in the ACC out of the transfer portal. Because you look at the teams we're talking to, and so much about it is the transfer portal, right?
No wonder Clemson wants out.
Whether it was this year or previous years, right? Like Kyron Drones is the returning quarterback for Virginia Tech, started last year, starting, I don't know, third of the way into the year. Started his career at Baylor. He's next to Antoine Powell-Ryland, started his career at Florida. These guys, we look at Tony Muskett, quarterback for Virginia. Started his career at Monmouth. There's all of these transfers within the teams, and there's transfers within the conference. We really, and I'm talking about the ACC, I'm talking about the college football as a whole. You really have to look at football seasons now as like individual living, breathing, one season entities. It used to be, hey, we won our last 4 games last year. We only won 5 games on the year, but we won our last 4. That momentum is going to carry into next year. Nowadays, it's like, what momentum? You might be in a different conference. You might have a different quarterback. Even if the quarterback had eligibility, he might go cash in somewhere else because they had 4 strong games at the end of the year. Your coach might leave. Like, 1 year is really 1 year. And despite what coaches are going to try to do, right? Because coaches love to be developers. They love to, find the diamond in the rough out of high school and build it into the future.
We heard Tony Elliott, UVA head coach, said that thing.
I just don't know if you can really build a program completely like that consistently enough. Are you going to be able to do it every once in a while? Yes. But it's just different things happen every single offseason in college football. Like, hey, now Cal, you hired a coach that was a defensive mind, and you built up your defense because you knew you were going to have to go up against the speed of Oregon and the offense of USC every year. Now you're never going to have to go up against them again. Now you have to deal with something completely different. So it is, this year is the 2024 ACC football kickoff.
Yeah.
It is the 2024. It's not the 2025 preview. It's its own individual beast. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I want to tell you about my partners over at Miller Lending. By the way, if you paid attention to today's Wall Street Journal, you're right. When they need a mortgage expert, they go to our guy Gordon Miller of Miller Lending. He was quoted in an article in their finance section. Gordon Miller and Miller Lending not only are giving insight to the Wall Street Journal, but also they're in our area in the Triangle, helping people attain mortgages and getting the best rates they can right now, while also setting themselves up to take advantage of rates in the future, right? The no closing cost loan means you don't have to worry about the timing quite as much, right? You don't want to refinance if rates drop a little bit. You want to refinance when rates drop all the way to the bottom before they bounce back up, and you have to time it, unless you're using a no closing cost loan from Miller Lending, because then if it drops a little bit, refinance, lock in that rate, lock in that lower monthly payment. If it drops more, do it again. If it drops more, do it again. It makes the timing a little less stressful, which, I mean, anyone that's ever dealt with should I refi, the timing is stressful. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377 to hear from Miller Lending. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Easy to remember, millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, I promised you one more interview. We have a starting quarterback, Nate Yarnell, redshirt junior quarterback from Pitt. That conversation coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
Every day, there's a new story. There's all sorts of rumors about, they're joining the Big 12. Florida State's going to the Big 12. Clemson's going to the Big 12. This is all air quotes and, internet stupidity. I've heard that not only with Florida State, but as many as 8 teams will be leaving the ACC to go to the Big 12. Shut up.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Tar Heel Basement Systems. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at tarheelbasementsystems.com.
What drives you? At 303 Car Care, we're driven to put the best detailing products in your hands. We create every formula, fill every bottle, and test every batch of 303 at our Chicago headquarters, always with quality in mind. From cleaners and coatings to our flagship aerospace protectant, you can trust that every 303 product does what the label says it's going to do. That's because 303 is driven by quality. Available at most auto retailers and Amazon.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Welcome to Staples.
My son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and comp books.
With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for school.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez.
Can we get a cart? please.
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 45 cents each at Staples. Ends 9/14. In-store only. Limit 30. Prices valid in select stores. Visit staples.com/stores/school deals.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's bow time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles sandwich combo time.
Welcome back into 99.9 The Fan. This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, and we are now joined here at ACC Kickoff by Nate Yarnell, redshirt junior quarterback for Pitt, as the Pitt contingent makes their way through Radio Row. Nate, I got a tip-off from your teammate on this one. So just know that's where it's coming from. I don't know where this is going to go.
Okay.
Who was your roommate in camp, and what movie did you watch every night in camp?
It was Donovan. Donovan, and we watched oh my gosh, Hacksaw Ridge. I think it was on every single night at we get back at 9 every single night, and we never finished it because we'd always went to bed. It was yeah, I'll never forget that. That was good. Yes, sir.
So a little offense defense roommate situation.
Yes, yeah. Coach Narduzzi always pairs us up. I've always had a safety every year. It's just good to build that team. We're no longer on opposite sides like in spring ball. We're all working towards the same goal.
Let's start there. Donovan McMillan. When fans of our teams back in North Carolina play your defense, as the guy going up against him in practice and in spring ball, as you mentioned, what is he bringing as a safety to the table?
He's a hard hitter. He's coming downhill. He's going to make sure he stopped the run, and then he's great in coverage. RPOs and stuff. He plays the games with me all the time, and I think it's been great to play him in practice.
Nate Yarnell, Pitt quarterback, joining us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Nate, a little bit of an interesting kind of path here. If I did my math right, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, 12 games as like a guy on the field playing a bunch in the high school and college combined.
That sounds right. I know I was 6 in high school and 4 last year, and I guess I played 2 snaps in the Sun Bowl. So I guess 2 before that. So 12. That sounds about right. Yes,
so
sir.
What is it like going from obviously Lake Travis being what Lake Travis is? So not playing there is a little different than not playing at a lot of high schools.
Yep.
But now going into being a starter in the ACC, what is this season like for you?
It's extremely exciting. I know I can do this, and that's something. I got a taste of being a starter last year at the end of the season, and that built a lot of confidence. I know we got a great team, and all I got to do is do my job. We're going to win games.
And what is your job on that?
We
hear do your job a lot.
Do your job.
And then you're going to throw efficiency at me, right?
I'll be
we know
specific.
all the quarterback terms.
Be efficient is just getting the guys to our playmakers. Obviously, Kanate Mumfield, Kenny Johnson, 2 great receivers returning from last year, and then we got the new guys from Western Carolina. I think are going to be weapons, and I'm really excited about all those guys. But my job is to make sure those guys are going to get open, so I just got to get the ball in their hands.
Now, we're based in Carolina, so when you say new guys in Western Carolina, who are you talking about, and what are they bringing?
CJ and Pop, and then we got Desmond Reed. CJ and Pop are receivers. Obviously, coming in, knowing the offense was big. able to jumpstart us in the spring and getting to watch them play. I think they're both going to be really explosive. And now we got Desmond Reed in the backfield. He's a guy who's not afraid to step in the A gap and take on a middle linebacker who's 100 pounds heavier than him, and he's gonna put him down. So really excited to have him in the backfield with me, and we're gonna do great things.
That's what you want as a quarterback, right? Someone willing to lay their body on the line to keep you upright.
Yeah, definitely. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah.
You're a taller guy. Are we 6'6" or are we 6'7" and saying 6'6"?
I'd say I'm closer to 6'7" than I am to 6'6", but I'm not quite 6'7".
That's fair. Nate Yarnell, redshirt junior quarterback for Pitt, joining us here at ACC Kickoff on the Drive. I want to talk about this Lake Travis thing. Is it something in the water? I mean, I can run it down real quickly for everybody listening. Your high school is Baker Mayfield. It's Garrett Gilbert. It's Todd Reesing, who many remember from Orange Bowl against Virginia Tech at Kansas. ACC fans will remember Michael Brewer from Virginia Tech, his little brother. Even wide receivers, Garrett Wilson with the Jets. What's in the water, and kind of what's your legacy as one of those guys trying to make a name for yourself?
Growing up in Lake Travis, I moved there in 7th grade to play football, and it's the culture. It's the culture there, and it's it builds teamwork, and it builds work ethic, and I think that's what takes all those guys so far and allows them to succeed. Really grateful to have come from there. Coach Carter and Coach Stein and Coach Mangino, all those guys that are down there. Really help me build who I am as a player and help me get to where I am today.
You said you moved there for football, so
I lived in Austin.
The 7th grade decision was to we're choosing schools based on
football. Yeah, definitely. That's why I'll never be able to repay my parents and my dad and all those guys for sacrificing so I could do what I love. And so yeah, definitely, yeah.
So I'm going to kind of make a parallel that's not quite the same, because those guys are some pretty big names. But if you walk around here, I don't know if you've seen it. This is the conference of quarterbacks. That's what all the signs say, and they have the stat. I have it right here in front of me. 13 quarterbacks enter this season in the ACC with over 20 passing touchdowns and over 3,500 passing yards in their career. How does it feel to be one of the few that's walking around here?
It doesn't bother me at all. I get my opportunity this year, and that's all that matters. Whoever wins football games this year is all heaven's going to talk about. Right now we're preseason, and that's exciting. But when week 1 comes, we'll see what happens.
What's it like playing for Coach Narduzzi? Right, we've seen him making the runs a little bit. It's at times it seems like a roller coaster. Right, certain coaches poker face, certain coaches say what they feel. What's it like playing for Coach Narduzzi?
I think it's a lot more calm than it looks like. Obviously, he's a defensive guy, so I really don't talk to him much. So I'm focused on my job and talking to the receivers and talking to whoever I need to on the offense, make sure we're on the same page. But Coach is just there to make sure everything's smooth and get us on the right track.
Well, going back to what we were talking about with Donovan, is there trash talk? If he
oh, definitely.
I was gonna say, as the head coach, if the head coach is a defensive minded guy and you're the quarterback, you got to let him know that how that works and what that relationship's like. Are you and Coach going at it?
No, not me and Coach. I would say the offense and the defense definitely. We have a great relationship as far as we're talking trash every single practice, and that competition is great for us to make sure we're getting better. Coach tries to stay as neutral as he can.
All right.
I don't know. Well,
I was going to say, you just said he works with the defense. Nate, before we let you go here, the other big story of kind of this media day and leading into the season is, Stanford and Cal are here too, which is a little bit unusual in SMU on previous day. Is it like the old school ACC versus the new? Is it icier between that group? Are you trying to stake your territory? What's it like when you guys are, we saw the College Football 25 video game is set up. Are you interacting at all with the new teams?
I really, it's great that they're joining, but I haven't thought about it at all. Really haven't. They're just someone else to add to our calendar, so it's another week, and it's another week to prepare, another team to prepare for, and another week to try and win. It's all that matters.
Well, as we started this, I kind of gave you a hard time about the quarterback speak. You got it down, man. I understand the on-field experience might be something you want to really dig your teeth into, but the media stuff, you got the both teams played hard. We're here to work. It's a good job. So we appreciate you for stopping by, and good luck this season.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Once again, Nate Yarnell, redshirt junior quarterback, Pitt, joining us earlier today here at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte. Right now, here's our very own Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement project you've been talking about doing for months, if not years. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll round out our first day here at the ACC football kickoff with a little feedback frenzy coming up next.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
Feeling the heat this summer? Cool down with this hot offer from Family Fare. Right now, pick up 2 icy cold 28-ounce Gatorades and get one free. Whether you're battling the sun at the work site, working out, or working on your tan, stay fueled and hydrated with Gatorade from Family Fare. You'll find lots of flavors to choose from in summer's best deal. So stock up on your favorite Gatorades today and all summer long at Family Fare. Buy 2 Gatorades, get one free is only for a limited time. So rush to your nearest Family Fare now. Family Fare, first in thirst.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with 0 experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Ah, the sweet feelings of summer. The kiss of warm sun on your skin. The softly scented breeze blowing through the trees. Don't worry, you have Off Clean Feel, fragrance-free mosquito repellent that feels good on skin, so even mosquitoes can't ruin those sweet feelings of summer. Off Clean Feel. Prevention is the best protection from mosquitoes.
Batter up! Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Duke University's Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, the film's original screenwriter Ron Shelton has adapted the story for the musical, so you can follow Crash Davis's Durham Bulls story and his romantic love triangle in a new genre. The perfect blend of comedy, drama, and steamy romance. Get your tickets for Bull Durham, a new musical, today. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is great because you're rarely rewarded for just being you. Ever get rewarded for being left-handed? No. You get to use weird scissors. Your reward for being a Capricorn? Cold birthdays that conflict with the holidays. And your reward for quickly responding to every work email? More emails. But with Snapshot, even left-handed Capricorns with proper email etiquette could get rewarded for good driving. So download the Progressive app today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people this all the time. If I am doing a commercial for somebody, I am vouching for who they are and what they do. You guys do great work, but your customer service stands above all the great work that you do.
Adam, I truly appreciate that testimonial. And yeah, we try to take pride in our customer service and meet and exceed our homeowners' expectations on all their home improvement needs. Obviously, there's many companies out there that do what we do. If you Google home improvements, Raleigh, you're going to get many, many companies. But you're not going to find too many companies out there that have a 4.9 rating and over 800 Google reviews and over 7,000 Guild quality reviews. It takes a lot of work on our part to make sure we meet and exceed all your expectations on customer service. And we're going to continue to do so because that's why we've been in business since 1961.
I have used the Aluminum Company. I have not heard anyone that had anything but incredible things to say about all of you, and that is amazing. That's a testimony to how you guys do it. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, continuing our coverage of ACC football kickoff. ACC football kickoff coverage on 99.9 The Fan is driven by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. The action here has mostly calmed down. The players and coaches at ACC kickoff stopped making their media availability at 5. So with that being said, I thought we'd make our media availability to all of you. By way of our YouTube comments, by way of our social media, something we call a feedback frenzy. Dennis, what are the people saying?
All right, so let's actually go to the conversation you and I had yesterday regarding the Carolina Hurricanes. And, hey, do they actually really want to trade Martin Necas?
Did they ever really want?
It's a big question. Well, this one comes from Thunderhammer X2966.
What's up, Thunderhammer?
Thunderhammer says, Necas, great name, Thunderhammer. Thunderhammer says this, Necas is outstanding until the other team has the puck, which is a big point of contention with this game.
Which is also part of the reason why it just seemed like for so long that the Canes and Necas were moving towards some kind of a separation. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, Rod Brindamore, like, you can't be the guy that's great until the other team has the puck. That's like, he's just not going to allow it. But at the same time, if you look at the Canes, they got a lot of guys that are pretty good when the other team has the puck. They might need, and I know Canes fans are going to call this blasphemy, they might need, like, just need one shoot first guard. You know what I mean? They might just need a volume shooter to say, like, no, everybody else can back check. I'm going to score the puck. I'm not saying that's Necas, but I wouldn't hate it if they had one, right? Like, if you have a great rim protector in basketball, that means you can, have a smaller offensively focused perimeter player because you got the rim protector, right? Like, if you have the stud defenseman behind him, maybe let him go be aggressive offensively. Maybe.
I mean, here's the thing: is that,
or ask him to get better at defense.
Oh, I think that's the thing: is that if he gets better defensively, he creates chances for himself. That's where it all starts. Carolina Hurricanes are very much like Carolina basketball. Defense, offense, transition. And obviously the forecheck and stuff when you get to that point. But Sebastian Aho has no problem being well over a point per game in this system. The Florida Panthers literally run the exact same system that the Carolina Hurricanes do, and they have multiple guys that get 80+, 90+, 100+ points.
Can I take on the role of Martin Necas' father?
Sure.
If Martin was a center, he would too.
You know what? Here's the thing.
If he got to quarterback or got to play first team power play minutes, he would too.
Well, you got to earn those, buddy. That's what you got to do.
I'm not saying I believe. I'm just and seen. And let me get out of my character.
Well, here's something as well is to keep in mind is that I think it was a couple seasons ago when it was like Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Necas were on a line together, at different points in time.
You're thinking of next year.
Well, no, I was thinking like 2022, 2023, which, yeah. But there are some times, like, for example, like in the offensive zone or like in the neutral zone, if it was a need for a right-handed faceoff guy, Martin Necas actually would take those faceoffs. It's like, so he actually had some reps and he's done it a bit in the regular season situationally. Clearly didn't show enough there to be like, hey, let's see if he can do this on a full-time basis. He clearly hasn't shown enough when he has been given those limited opportunities. So guess what? Carolina doesn't see him as that. It's simple what it is.
And it's just a matter of, can they pay him enough money to where he forgets that he ever wanted it?
Well, that's a big question. That's a big question coming up. All right, next one up here on Feedback Frenzy.
Feedback Frenzy.
We also had a conversation yesterday about the Carolina Panthers, who everyone's reported to training camp today for the Carolina Panthers right here in Charlotte. First practice tomorrow morning at 9:30 in the morning. We had a conversation how the Panthers don't have any really much health on pass rush outside of like Jadeveon Clowney and like Caleb Von Jason. There really isn't a whole lot there. This one comes from Panther Gal 7399. I really hope we don't have another disaster season.
First of all, we all hope that it's not a disaster season.
Yeah.
Second of all, I think it's important to set expectations appropriately. If you're going in to this season thinking it's going to be a 10-win season, it's going to be another disaster season, right? And I think that was part of why last year was so bitter, right? Adam Thielen was talking about, I chose to come to Carolina because I think I can win a Super Bowl. Frank Reich was going to be the guy to lead them. Like the expectations got carried away from a team that just had no business being in those conversations. So this year, if the expectation is like, hey, I hope we get 6 wins, and they win 5, you're not going to be like, that's a catastrophe.
Yeah.
A lot of how this season is going to be framed is based upon how you think of this team right now, and that'll set, everything's relative, right? That'll set all of your reactions moving forward.
All right, next one up here, we also had a conversation about how the Carolina Panthers maybe are building towards the future and trying to figure things out with Deontay Johnson. This actually comes from Isaac Belcher saying, I think referring to Adam Thielen, I think Adam Thielen goes to a contender near the trade deadline. Depending on how the Panthers season is going,
I think
it's a possibility.
No, I don't think the Panthers. I don't know if a contender is going to. They would have to have injuries at the wide receiver position.
Sure,
there would have to be other things, not just like Adam Thielen and his skill set where it is right now is not good for every team. You need to have a specific opening on your roster. I'd have to know the contender to know if that's even plausible. But I wouldn't pencil that in like automatic.
Yeah, maybe if a team just has like, all right, we have like our 1 and 2, but our depth after that is just kind of crushed. You know what? Let's a veteran 3rd, 4th guy to come in.
You might also even need like someone on the offensive coaching staff that has worked with Thielen in the past,
maybe
to know that he can jump in and they can get him up to speed on the offense quickly. You don't see you see it in baseball. Baseball, like an acquisition at the deadline, it's so easy, right? Because heck, the right fielder and the left fielder, if they're batting, 3rd and 5th, never even have to talk to each other. Like, you don't need chemistry. A wide receiver and a quarterback need to be like play catch with their eyes closed style, like chemistry to be effective. So, if he were going somewhere where he had some kind of connection, maybe. Mid-season trades just don't happen that often.
They don't. I could see it as a possibility.
I can see the Panthers shopping them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It doesn't matter if they find someone to make it happen on the other side.
For
Takes
sure.
2 to tango.
Along that same conversation about Deontay Johnson, this one comes from Have Some Hands. Gosh, these names
tell
are
that
great.
to Deontay.
Have some hands. Well, speaking of Deontay, he says, I think we were trying to see if Bryce is the guy, referring to Bryce Young, by getting Deontay Johnson so we can grade him fairly.
I think that might be what it is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the moves have shown they're not all in on winning this year, but they do want to be all in on knowing whether Bryce is something to build towards, or if they got to, go full Kenny Pickett with him, or full Zach Wilson with him, or full Kyle Bowler with, I don't know, I'm just naming busts now. Yes, I agree. That it's probably not fair to judge Bryce Young without a number 1 wide receiver, and they probably didn't think they could get one this offseason traditionally, so the trade worked. And now maybe an audition for both of them, but at least now you can judge Bryce Young with somebody that can get open in the NFL. And last year, outside of Adam Thielen, and even at the end of the year, maybe not including Adam Thielen, really nobody getting open for him. So that's about going to do it for us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan from Charlotte for Tuesday. A little preview of what we have going on tomorrow from here at ACC Kickoff. We will be speaking with Manny Diaz, the head coach of Duke.
Yep.
Dave Clawson, the head coach of Wake. We'll talk with multiple players from Duke, including Jordan Moore. We'll talk with Devontae Gordon, a 6th-year player for Wake Forest on the offensive line. Talk with players from Miami, Boston College. There's a lot to get excited about tomorrow.
Tons.
I'm pretty jacked up for the rest of the ACC football kickoff. Hopefully you are as well. Adam Gold will also be joining us out here tomorrow.
I'll be here as well.
So the Adam Gold Show, which airs directly before this one every day from noon to 3, will be here live as well. And he'll have his own set of interviews. Those are not included. So 99.9 The Fan's really a spot for all the coverage on ACC football kickoff weekend. Or week, I should say. Thank you to Graham for keeping us up and running back at the studio. Thank you to Dennis for doing the same right here in Charlotte. We're going to get packed up so we can be back here tomorrow and enjoy Overdrive coming up next. Have a great night, everybody.
The world's best athletes are in Paris going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Summer Games. Starting Friday, listen for all the action from a